Beautiful, beautiful Friday out there, everybody. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. Let's get our heads right on this sixth week of January. Certainly, it has felt that way. It's been a long week, but I think a very productive week for the Ben and Woods program. It's great to be here with you. Everyone's in a better mood on Fridays usually here in the studio, and it's just good, man. Got a nice weekend ahead, and I think the rain's going to wash out of town in a couple of days maybe, and sunny skies, and back to being San Diego next week, hopefully, and baseball's around the corner. So love is in the air, certainly, here on the Ben and Woods program. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. Yeah, I heard we get about a week, maybe a week and a half of some good sunshine. Still going to be cold.
Yeah.
And then I think the rain's kind of
coming back
after that. Yeah.
No. We'll look forward to that, Greg.
Yeah.
To my left, Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. We made it. Last show, I remember going back to like November when baseball season ends, and Woods always has kind of the panic moment. Oh, my God, we've got 3 months ahead of us with no baseball. How are we going to get through it? I go, we always do. We'll make it through. But this is the final show.
But I haven't panicked at all.
You haven't.
Been
You've been
the
good. You've been good.
Panicked
but we always have
at
that
all.
discussion. Like, here comes the stretch between the end of the World Series and the start of spring training. That, well, all right, we got the Christmas extravaganza to look forward to, and then we'll be off for a week and a half, and then we'll be back. It'll be January, and try to get through that. There'll be some NFL playoffs.
Complete crap.
January was just long. It was long, but like I'm very much. I have been in a good mood and headspace, and like, don't worry about it. We'll get it figured out. I've grown. I'm growing. Even my wife, who never gives me credit for anything ever, told me yesterday as I was squiring her around town to pick up her car. Remember the car that she got in an accident at the Christmas and holiday extravaganza?
Yes.
We got it out yesterday. And she said, normally it was like a 2-hour jaunt because we had to go to the bank and we had to go here and there and meet her at home and wait at the rental car place. And I was just in a good mood. Normally she'd be like, oh my God, you'd be like chewing. Last year at this time, you would have been chewing me out. And she said, you're not even like moody. And I said, I'm in a good headspace. I feel pretty good. And she goes, you have been really great. Thank you. And I said, thank you for that credit. It's nice to see. It's like you lost your weight. You like when people tell you you look skinny, right? I like when people tell me you're way less of a psycho than you were last year at this time. So I appreciate that.
You did a good
compliment.
job. We got through it, and by the time we come back on Monday, the Padres will be reported to spring training, have their first pitchers and catchers workout. We'll have Sammy spring training out there. So this is it. We have made it through that stretch that we look at every year and go, well, this will be interesting the next couple of months.
It's a beautiful open canvas for our art is how I look at it. I got quite a story for you guys. I was perusing. I never go, well, I shouldn't say never. Obviously I do. Rarely do I go to the 97.3 The Fan Instagram. Okay, I've got my personal. I got access to the Ben and Woods, and I got access to 97.3 The Fan Instagram.
I'll say it. I never go on the 97.3
all right, well, I
Instagram.
did. I saw messages piling up in the inbox, and I went, somebody's got to do this, right? Even though they're probably going to be mean about me. I get it. But I go, and I open one.
You should check 97.3's Facebook messages.
They hate me on 97.3 The Fan Facebook. Me in particular. Like, they loathe me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It is what it is, I can't complain. Life's pretty good. So I happened to go check one. And I see this long, very sweet Instagram message on 97.3 The Fan from a young lady named Kelly. And I said, okay, I'll give this thing a read. And I read it, and I laughed, and I went, oh, this is great. So Kelly is married to Tyler, and it's Tyler's birthday next month. They'll be out in spring training. These huge Padres fans, locals, and it's their anniversary today. So she said, is there any way, Woodsy, any way I could bring him by the studio to meet you guys, see how you guys do what you do? He loves your show. I said, done. Let's set it up.
So they're coming by today.
So they are coming by today. In fact, they're here
right
now. Kelly and Tyler Sevick join us here on the program. But the best part of all of this is how she fooled this rube into thinking they were going. Get this. First of all, welcome to the program, guys. You can get on that
You
mic
can talk
right
into
there.
that one right there.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
It's our pleasure. So she had you, Ty, fully duped. You want to tell our listening audience the yarn that she spun that you just bought hook, line, and sinker. This is incredible, by the way.
Yeah, so I wasn't really allowed to ask any questions. And
Welcome to marriage.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. Yeah.
And I guessed that we were going hot air ballooning.
Okay.
We got a little 1-year-old at home, and my dad was coming over to watch her this morning, and he fake ruined the surprise and said, "Hey, I hope you enjoy hot air ballooning." And so we're coming here, we're talking about hot air ballooning. I'm finally starting to wrap my head around getting excited about hot air ballooning. And Woods pops out.
Down in the parking lot.
And I'm like, oh, hey, I know that guy.
Yep.
And then he mentions hot air ballooning, and I'm like, what the heck? How does this guy know that we're going hot air ballooning?
So what Tyler, Kelly Sevick, the wife here, is speaking, what Tyler didn't know is that Woods and I had been texting.
Oh, yeah.
So Woods gave me his personal number. Of
course.
One guy.
Yep.
So him and I are texting, and I'm like, wow, good thing Tyler doesn't ever go through my phone, because he'd be like, what the?
Like, what the hell? Is that
Yeah.
Woods from 97.3 The Fan? You got to text me when you get here, because I'll forget to check Twitter. I'll forget to check Instagram. I'm like, here's my number. Text me when you guys get here. So she texts me yesterday. She goes, I got him. He's done. He thinks we're going hot air ballooning. I go,
Are you bummed that you're not going?
Yeah, I know.
hot
It's
air
kind of a
ballooning at
bummer.
dawn?
A little bit.
a little.
I don't think they let you go up when there are thunderstorms.
So I was going to say,
We had a tornado warning like 2 days ago.
you guys see a lot of hot air balloons in the last week? 60-mile-an-hour wind. Oh, also, it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no,
you
she
see
had
any
me.
up there? Like, he's like, all right.
But what else are you to do this early in
What-
the morning?
what else
I
you gonna
could buy
do?
like a sunrise
Yeah.
type thing.
There's been no sun. There's been no sunrise.
That was the thing. I was like, this is going to be a miserable day to go up there.
It's
Like,
gonna be-
oh,
it's
we
gonna
gotta
be
go all the way up
rainy.
to Temecula,
Windy.
so maybe it's better weather up there.
He was so ready. He was so ready to go hot air ballooning, and now you just got stuck with 3 balloons blowing hot air in here. But thank you guys for being here. I'm happy that you were able to make it. I'm happy that you fell for the surprise. Your wife is just fantastic, and I think that is. I'm really glad you guys are here, and make yourselves at home. Anything you need, please let Paulie know, and he'll take care of you. But they brought us breakfast burritos, and those were delicious. So it's been a good morning already. But man, yeah, he bought it. I feel like I would have probably also been like, oh, cool. Will you plan something, some cool surprise? I'm in. But it's hard. It's hard to fool the spouses, man, because they keep asking questions. Man.
Do you guys like surprises, or do you like giving surprises?
I don't really like getting surprises.
Yeah, you don't like getting surprised.
I'm more nervous about what it's going to be. I mean, anyone, if you pull off a great surprise and someone really enjoys it, that's a great feeling. Like you take someone somewhere unexpected and they have a great time, you feel good about it. But mostly, I think because I enjoy the anticipation of an event, like, ooh, I'm going to be playing this new golf course, and I'll look for it for like 4 weeks.
Sure.
If you just told me,
You're
we're
playing.
going to play like right now, I'd be, well, that's great, but I could have been like, studying the course and doing all the things I
he's
like
actually
to do
mad
in
about it.
anticipation
Yeah.
of it. So I'd prefer not to be surprised. I'd prefer to get the news much earlier so I can enjoy it for like weeks.
I learned quickly in our relationship that Megan does not like being surprised. It gives her anxiety, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, Hannah likes to
She
plan.
wants to know.
Well, don't tell her
what's
she's
going
being
on.
surprised.
Right.
Then she won't know.
Doesn't work that way. So we've.
They ask too many questions. It's like, hey, all right, never mind.
shut up.
Shut up.
No,
Yeah.
we've just developed a system where we try to get one thing at least every month that we can look forward to.
Sure, of course.
Whether it's a date night, a trip, a weekend thing, whatever.
So you've never done like taking someone on a surprise trip. Hey, we're going away for the weekend, packed for warm weather, and
Are you insane?
There's no chance.
don't know where you're going.
Oh,
though.
there's no chance. I mean, I would have the fight we would get in, and the way that she would take it personally is like it's not even worth it.
I
mean,
did an overnight once for Megan's birthday. We went and I got tickets to see her favorite comedian downtown. We had a hotel for the night. And even that was like, she was Besides, she
On
wanted to know
edge,
what
yeah.
the hell was going on.
Where are we eating?
I think I ended up telling her like the day before, and that was not enough time.
Yeah, it's not enough time, but I like to be surprised. I mean, as long as it's a good surprise, you know, if it's not like, hey, there's a police officer here who wants to talk to you, that's not a fun surprise. But, you know, she surprised me for my 40th birthday and did a surprise party for me, and that was a lot of fun.
Did
But
everyone hide? What was the bit?
I kind of caught on.
Yeah.
Oh, the best surprise I ever did for her, she had no idea when we got engaged. She had no idea. So we got engaged around my birthday, and we went to a nice dinner. And I had a lot of our friends and family meeting at this spot on the beach, like 50 people. So it was a huge effort to coordinate. And we go to dinner, and she's being kind of bitchy towards the end of it. And we were so early. We sat down, ordered our drinks. The drinks were there. We ordered our food. The food came right out. Hannah was like, she ate, and she's like, okay, I'm ready for dessert, and let's get out of here. 45 minutes. The dinner was supposed to be an hour and a half. So I'm way early. So now I'm killing time. I go, I want to go walk on the beach. Never said that in my life. Never once have I said, let's go walk on the beach. She goes, what? I go, it's beautiful. Let's go walk on the beach. And she's like, oh, fine. Then she goes, let me change. We were in nice clothes. I expected the nice pictures. She puts on yoga pants, a tank top. I was like, let's get the dogs. And like we took the dogs out. So we parked. I go, let's just leave the dogs in the car. She goes, I thought we were bringing I was a wreck at this point. But we're walking towards the beach, and there's everyone waiting. There's a heart in, candles and everything, and her mom's there, and it was really special. So we walked about halfway up, and she stopped, and she put her hand over it. She had no idea it was coming. That's the only one I think I've ever pulled off that was worth an S, man.
It's a good one.
It was a good one.
You're going to get one
Yeah.
in there. That's a pretty good one.
It was a good one. There's no hot air ballooning, but it was, it worked. Somebody said in the chat, man, my man really woke up today thinking, I'm going to go hot air ballooning today. And now he's sitting in the Ben & Woods Sweatbox studio listening to us chit-chat. But great to have you guys here. Loved the surprise. Happy anniversary to you both. And you have a baby girl or baby boy?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. What is her name?
Emmy.
Emmy. Emmy, if you're listening, you're with your grandfather, your parents are here, your dad is very gullible. You'll be absolutely able to take advantage of him later in life. So, excellent, man. Thank you guys for being here. And let's get down to some business.
Yeah, we'll set the menu when we come back. It is Friday. We're going to continue our Tier 1 tour. We'll have all the details for you coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's Ben & Woods. Kelly's got traffic still raining out there for the fifth consecutive morning this week. On 97.3 The Fan is Ben & Woods. We'll be right back. Got a couple of our 97.3 The Fan colleagues I'd like to acknowledge this morning. First of all, to our fearless leader, Adam Klug, our brand manager / program.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
Congratulations.
What did you say, Adam? I didn't hear you the first time.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
That's him. And as we were earlier this week honored by Barrett Sports Media as the number 16 morning show in the country. And our afternoon show, Gwen and Chris, got ranked number 19 for the drive time in the afternoon. Today, Adam Klug was voted the number 16 program director in sports talk radio in America. And I love the picture that they chose to feature Adam on their post. It's him holding up his T-shirt with his big fro from high school that he would not give to us unless we got to number 1 in the rating. So he's earned it. He's done a great job. Congratulations.
I feel like if Barrett Sports Media knew that story, he'd be ranked higher than 16th.
I think so, too. There's another guy in there that kind of looked like him at number 7, and Christopher tweeted it in. Craig Riley from 93.7 The Fan, which Ben will refer to our station as, from Pittsburgh. But Adam Klug, you are well-deserving. We love you, and thank you for all that you've done for us.
Paulie's right, though. I think Adam actually deserves to be probably number 1. If you really think about it, when he got here, which was a little before we got here, I mean, the station was, what, in the ratings, you know?
So I think we have
in the 20s,
numbers. No, I think we have the numbers. Paulie's got it.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
Paulie's got it somewhere.
It was a fairly low number, if I remember correctly.
0.0.
What the morning show that was here at the time? What did they have? What did he have?
0.0.
Yeah. So I'd say he's done a really good job.
Yeah.
Really, really good job.
And so congratulations to Adam. And also congratulations to our colleague Matt Scraby from the Gwen and Chris program for surviving. At least I assume he has survived through the night. I don't know how well he slept, but had his challenge where Gwen and Chris made him eat the Thai 10 spicy dish yesterday on the air.
I loved it, man.
You called in.
I loved it.
I was listening. I listened a little bit afterwards to the aftermath. He sounded like he was okay. He sounded perfectly fine on the air in the segments following, but you called in and he did all right. He made it through.
So I was like rapt attention. I had the YouTube feed up. I was in the pickup line at school, and I had it on my YouTube feed. And I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. And they showed it to the camera, and I went, oh my God, there's no way. And I am admittedly, I'm a wuss about a lot of things, but maybe the number one thing I'm a wuss about is spicy stuff. I'm from Texas. I've been shamed for this my entire life by all my friends that would mainline the hot sauce, and I'm like, no, get that away from me. Give me the mild pace. You know what I mean? And that's even a little bit much for me. Cholula is damn near as hot as I can go. So I've been shamed my whole life. I'm watching Scraby do this, and I got physically ill and uncomfortable watching it. Then I get the text from Hannah, oh, you don't have to pick up Bo. My mom's picking him up. So I'm like, So I have to get out of line. I'm like driving it, listening to it now. So I go, I got to call in. I had to call in. And you know what? Kudos to him, too. He could have said, all right, I'll do the bet, and had one little string of noodle and been like, whoo, that was hot. Dude went in and was a huge clump of it, then kept eating it. But, man, you saw his face go red. You saw him reach for the garbage can and spit in it. Like, wasn't spitting anything out, but he said the salivary glands were just exploding in his mouth.
I can see that.
And so I called in.
God.
And my damn phone cut out, but they got the gist of the point. I had 2 points to make. One, I said, Scraby, do you stand behind the fact that you order a Thai 10 when you order Thai food, which you said you did? He goes, no, probably more like a 6. And I go, yeah, all right. And then I said, don't touch it.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Is Woodsy still with it? Oh, there he is. There he is.
Oh, yeah, I'm right here, Scraby. One last piece of advice. Do not touch your pee-pee after this.
Don't
make me laugh.
Do not do it. Okay. As much as you want to, don't do it.
Thank you, Woodsy, for the great advice.
Oh, that was
It was fantastic.
Legendary.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Woodsy,
much
for calling
Thank you
in,
for
buddy.
calling in.
Yeah, I would second that, but don't only not touch your pee-pee.
Stop calling it that.
PP.
I
I wanted to get that too. I didn't know he said that.
Hearing Tony Gwynn Jr. say it hits a lot
It does.
differently than hearing
Yeah,
you
I say it all the
once.
time.
But don't only not touch your pee-pee.
But it was fantastic.
No, that could be a whole set. Get serious people to say unserious things.
I've been doing it to you for
I know.
6 years, man.
But now I
I'm
like
pretty-
that Tony Gwynn Jr. is part of it too.
I'm pretty good at it.
Not touch your pee-pee.
Right, that's right.
And then I understand that because obviously he doesn't want anything to go to waste. Our boss Adam Klug finished all the leftovers at the
As
end.
impressive as Scravy was, Adam stole the show, I think.
So that's the thing. Did he come in and steal Scraby's thunder
Now,
a little bit?
I don't know about that. I don't know if he was talking the other day or earlier in the program about how he can handle spicy foods.
Yeah.
But he came in and you would have thought he was eating cereal.
Like
or
yeah,
something.
salad or something.
Like he was not phased at all.
He ate, somebody just said, Adam housed like 4 huge bites and did not flinch.
He's just like, oh, is this supposed to be spicy? Like, what is this?
Oh my God. Well, the funny part was, and Adam doesn't even know this yet, but I was listening to the station at the time, and it played a me commercial, followed by a me commercial, and then another me commercial. 3 in a row. So I texted Adam. I'm like, hey, this sounds awful. Like, get me off of here, right? Then Paulie and I do our daily 3 calls, and I was talking to Paulie. I go, the guy's in there eating Thai food. He needs to be worried about his radio station and how it sounds. I was all mad. So
Put the Thai food down. Put the noodles down.
Put your chopsticks down. Get your ass back and start managing this radio station. And now with this ranking this morning, there's gonna be no stopping this guy.
God.
But I heard he just crushed it. No reaction. I didn't know he had that skill in him.
You wouldn't think it to look at him.
No.
But I'm impressed.
He's very slight.
I'm impressed.
He's very slight.
All right, coming up on the program this morning, we got another set of Padres rumors last night. In fact, they were linked to 3 different players. One, an outfielder we discussed earlier this week. One, a starting pitcher that I brought up a few days ago but hadn't been discussed in the national media at all. And then the third, someone that makes 0 sense whatsoever in my mind for the Padres to be picking up at this juncture in the offseason. But hey, I don't make the rumors. I just read them from the national reporters. So we can talk about
this
because
one
it
rumor.
makes 0 sense. I'm like, that'll be the one of the 3 that actually
exactly.
happens.
I mean,
But the one rumor was not from a national reporter.
oh no, he connected that name.
He did?
Yeah, oh yeah. The national reporter did connect that name, not the one that you tweeted about.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought you were talking about.
This is a real national reporter.
I must have missed this entirely.
We will talk about that coming up. After the show yesterday, we had a discussion as we were wrapping things up. And I found out you don't really like Super Bowl parties.
I really don't.
Yeah, I was surprised by
No,
that.
I really don't.
I want to dig into that a little bit
I'd go
when
as
we
far
come
as to
back
say
as
I
well.
dislike them.
Just like
entirely.
actively dislike Super Bowl parties?
I abhor them.
Like most guys, I think it's the one party they tend to enjoy
Not this
most
one.
of the year.
Not this
The
one.
food. It's centered around a television and a game. You don't really have to make a ton of small talk.
Don't you have to make a ton of small talk?
Let's get into that because I didn't quite understand where you were going, but maybe people out there will agree with you. 7 o'clock hour, our regular features take on Woods. Don't do this as always. We will get into, I don't know if anyone heard it, Josh Hader appeared on the MLB Foul Territory podcast show. And
Foul indeed.
made some comments about his lack of usage or when he was allowed and not allowed to be used last season by the San Diego Padres. Hear it from the horse's mouth himself. I don't know that he made it better or anything with his explanation, but we'll play that audio for you. We'll discuss that. We've got one more pair of Padres spring training tickets to give away later this show. And 8:35, we will continue our Tier 1 tour, 1 camp per day, as spring training gets underway, leading all the way up to the Padres opener. We're in the NL East. It's New York Mets Day, and our friend Casey Stern, host of the Unfiltered podcast, will join us at 8:35 as we look into a team that, like the Padres, has retrenched a bit since last season when they were far and away baseball's leading payroll club.
I'll say this. They've made some of the weirdest moves I've ever seen this entire offseason.
All of that coming up and more as we go until 10 o'clock this morning. Glad to have you with us. It's Friday. It's Ben and Woods. We'll be right back with more after this on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Not touch your pee-pee.
Yesterday, Woods had a hot scoop out of Asia somewhere. A reporter who tweeted that the Padres had signed pitcher Hyunjin Ryu to a one-year contract for like $11 million or something.
Yeah, it said done deal.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Don't know anything about this reporter, but also not obviously a fake account either.
Han Song-jan News, 18 hours ago. Done deal. Hyunjin Ryu to the San Diego Padres on a one-year deal worth $11.4 million. More to follow. I've not heard back from Han Song-jan.
Did not, yeah.
News.
I Googled to see if is this a legitimate reporter. He had like 6,000 followers, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So,
well, he's back at it this morning with some more breaking news that first baseman Ji-Man Choi is close to joining the Colorado Rockies on a minor league deal with an invitation to spring camp. So we'll see if any of these things pan out.
And it's possible that maybe a Korean-based reporter gets this news about those kind of players. Would that move make sense to you or not, though? The Padres are certainly been reported to be looking for one more starting pitcher before the start of the year. Now, Hyunjin Ryu he was an all-star in 2019, had a string of really good seasons, parlayed that into a pretty nice contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. He's been making $20 million a year, and then in 2022 had to have surgery that ended his year and missed a lot of 2023, but came back with like a 3.5 ERA and 11 starts at the end of last season. So at good chunks of his career, he's like a 3.5 ERA pitcher who's had quite a bit of success. Now he's, I think, 36 years old, so nearing the end of his career, but on a one-year deal at $11 million for a team that is looking for another starting pitcher, possibly someone who can give them some innings, a veteran. Does that kind of move make sense?
I can't go back on what I've been saying the entire offseason, that there are no bad one-year deals. And this is a team in desperate need of 4 or 5 different one-year deals for guys. That's kind of how I feel. And so I guess, did I see sticker shock when I saw the price? Sure I did. I absolutely did. Thinking to myself, I just did some quick subtraction or takeaway, as my 6-year-old calls it. We've been working on takeaway at the house. So if we have 20 to spend and then I take away 11,
and we don't know. We're just speculating on luxury tax level and
levels,
stuff.
So 20, if you take away 11, that leaves us with 9. And then with that 9, we need to find left field, maybe center field, maybe DH. So 3,
at minimum.
3, 3.
It's not a lot left
6, 2, 1. There's a lot of
You're
different
looking
combos.
for bigger bargains.
I'm looking for bigger bargains.
You're not, that report, that tweet was not the only one about Hyunjin Ryu, because John Heyman in the New York Post said Padres have shown some interest in Hyunjin Ryu.
Now, let's be honest with ourselves, too, and with our audience. John Heyman probably saw the exact same tweet that I saw and said, I'm going to run with it. Because why? It's John Heyman.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, he also linked the Padres to a guy that we had talked about earlier this week, Jarren Duran of the Boston Red Sox, outfielder, as a potential trade target, as the Padres were looking for outfielders in a trade. And then he threw in a third name, which this one surprised me, that the Padres are showing interest in Kenley Jansen if they're talking to the Red Sox.
I had to read it about 10 different times.
I feel like that's a 2 steps forward, 4 steps back move. Better be careful. He could be here in a week. I have no idea.
That comes out of the very left field AJ possibilities. Kenley Jansen is scheduled to make $16 million this
Feels
year.
right, doesn't it, guys? Feels right.
And, of course, the
we
one
got 20 to spend?
Well, Ben just said it comes out of left field. I'd like something to go to left field instead of come out of left field.
Right.
That's what I would like to see with this team.
I mean, the
moving
bullpen has
forward.
been the one area where the Padres have seemingly done a good job addressing that area of need in the offseason. To throw even more resources, limited resources, on another big-name relief pitcher at this point, after you've extricated yourself from Josh Hader in free agency this last year. I can't see how that makes any sense, at least in my mind, but sometimes things make sense to A.J. Preller that don't necessarily make sense to the rest of us as Padres fans.
So and we mentioned it when we were talking about Duran the other day. I said because they're actively looking And again, I think you have to ask the question again, why are you looking to move a 27-year-old center fielder with some pop that might have figured it out with 5 years of very cheap control remaining? What's the reason for that? Not a fit for you? You got somebody else coming? Like, what's the reason that you would be willing to part with him? You know, I think that's important. And that does happen in baseball.
But you have to ask that question.
You have to ask the question, why? 5 years of control. He's 27 years old.
We've asked it about every deal that the Rays have been a part of over the last 4 years.
Exactly.
We're like, this is one of the seemingly most smart teams and organizations in all of baseball.
But they're dumping a guy with
What
4
is
years
going
of
on?
control. Right. So I don't really know why. My original thought was Jarren Duran comes here along with Kenley Jansen. The Padres eat a lot of the salary.
The Red Sox eat a lot.
The
of
Red
the
Sox
salary.
eat a lot of the salary. But you have to give back some pretty heady prospects in return, of which you do have plenty. But that said, man, I don't know. Like Kenley Jansen, where's he going to pitch? I know he's had some success in his career. He's had some big success in his career.
He's a potential Hall of Famer.
100%. But is he still pitching at the capability where you would feel comfortable with him in the ninth inning, or Mike Schilt would be comfortable with him in the ninth inning? I don't know. We've done pretty well with pitchers, and we've done pretty well with pitchers off the scrap heap. Not that he's a scrap heap guy, but you know, I what I don't want to do is give away a buttload of prospects and then pay $16 million a year for a Kenley Jansen.
I agree with that. To me, Hyunjin Ryu is actually the most interesting name that was brought up yesterday, because they're numbers-wise, there's arguments to be made both for and against him. Age is against him. Coming off an injury, you got to be very cautious. Can he give you the kind of innings that you really look for out of a fourth or fifth starter? Don't know. But I think what we can't know is, how does he look right now? You know, are they scouting some throwing sessions? Are they getting him on, you know, their machines, their biomechanics lab, and seeing what the spin rate and the velocities are, and do they match up with what he looked like 3 or 4 years ago? And you know, if they can project one really good season out of Hyunjin Ryu, a 1-year deal for a guy like that could be exactly what the Padres need to flesh out their starting rotation that does remain very, very mystery laden at the bottom end of it.
Yeah.
You know, as to who's
Incomplete.
going to eat those innings. There's choices. There's Yankees acquisitions. There's the guys coming back like Avila and Waldron. There's some of the young guys who may be ready to take a step up. But you can't tell me for sure that any of those guys is going to be able to fill the kind of innings that you're going to need to get through. What's the, like 1,440 is the number of innings you need to get out of a pitching staff every year.
Yeah.
And you know, you're hoping that Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish stay relatively healthy to eat a good chunk of those. Michael King has never thrown more than around, 100-something that he did last year. You're hoping he jumps up, but, you know, you can't anticipate 200 innings out of Michael King.
Or really anyone
And you're
anymore,
still,
but yeah.
even if you got, let's say you got
130.
530 innings out of those three guys, you still need almost 1,000 more innings out of your bullpen, and then 2 more starters, or probably 5 more starters over the course of a season to get to that 1,440 inning total. And someone like Hyunjin Ryu could help you bridge that gap, close that gap to get to the number of innings you're just going to need to get through a season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, the sticker shock price I was like, $11 million. But, you know, when you see what some guys are getting right now, it's kind of what the market bears. But, yeah, I don't know that you can count on Matt Waldron and Avila to fill the 4th and 5th spots. And even if they have great springs, you know what I mean? They don't have that track record yet, and really the only 2 guys on the team that do are Joe and you, and hopefully they can eat up a lot of innings, man, because they're going to have to. But you do have a good bullpen that's going to help, ease the burden on some of the younger players towards the bottom. But yeah, man, it's what made Waka and Lugo so valuable last year. That not only did you feel like you had a good chance to win a ball game with them in there, but they also went out and pitched a lot of innings for you. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really, really tough.
All right, we need to check traffic. When we come back, I would like to extend an invitation to both of you. And we'll do that next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Pass.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick. Got some stray showers still hitting parts of the county this morning, guys, so you know what to do. Just take that into consideration. Give yourself a little extra time. Right now, there is a collision on the transition ramp northbound 5 right at the eastbound 76. Keep in mind, if you're planning on going to Julian, playing in the snow, chains are required. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Shelley is planning an epic Super Bowl party at our house on Sunday. I've taken the day off so I can stay home. Would you, Paul Reindl, and you, Stephen Woods, like to attend the Super Bowl party?
No. Is this true, by the way?
This is true.
Oh, no.
This is true. It's happening.
Pass.
No, thank you.
You both pass.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Hard pass.
You don't want to go to a Super Bowl party. All right, give me some reasoning here, because
I want to watch the game.
we'll have the game on.
No, I want to watch
Big
the
TV,
game.
probably going to set up a TV outside and inside, so you have multiple places to watch said game.
Good.
I won't certainly bother you and make you talk to me the whole time. I'll be watching the game. Isn't that the rule of the Super Bowl party? If someone wants to watch the game, let them watch the game and enjoy
let me
the
watch
food.
the game at my house. Mad Dog had this take the other day, and it was like making the national rounds. I was like, I don't want to watch. I don't take me to a party. I want to just let me do my thing. And I'm like, and everyone's like, ooh, what a hot take. I'm like, it's literally the least hot take of all time. You know what my fantasy is. We've talked about my fantasy. Like, kind of my sexual fantasy is to have playoff cabin. When the Padres make the playoffs, we rent a cabin and we just watch the game in silence. There's no kids. There's no bath time. There's no feeding. There's no misses. There's no nothing. I just want to sit and stare at the game with a notepad and a pen and write down observations be in the zone.
See, that's not you. You're not someone.
It's
if
not
it was
who
my team.
I'm
if
not
I was-
allowed to be.
If
It's
I was
literally
a-
what I want to do.
If I was a massive 49ers fan or a massive Chiefs fan, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to be around other people when you're watching your team and you just care so much about a game. Someone will say the wrong thing at the wrong time or look at you the wrong way, and it just ruins your experience. So, yes, if the Padres are in the playoffs, playoff cabin, you're just
playoff
focused
cabin.
on the games.
I need it so bad.
I do understand that sentiment.
I'll even do playoff
But
tent by
for,
myself.
For the normal Super Bowl, especially here in San Diego, we don't have a team.
No, I don't have a team. I don't have a dog in this fight.
Don't really care who wins. I mean,
I do. I've got money on.
We'll make
a
our
certain
picks,
team,
and I'll
so-
want that team to win. But I'm not going to be living and dying. My life doesn't depend on who wins the Super Bowl. Having just tons of great, delicious Super Bowl food, dips,
I can get
ribs,
it all myself. I
pulled
can
pork. There's no way
pull-
you
I
can
can
even
pull
come
my own
close
pork
to
at my
matching the
house.
spread.
I pull pork at my house all
And
the time.
you won't have to do anything. And by the way, Super Bowl is like one of those parties that you don't really have to bring anything to. The food's already provided. Maybe a 6-pack or something. I have no idea. Seems like a great. If you're invited to a good Super Bowl party, why would anyone say no to that?
I want to watch the game. Here's what happens to me every year.
You get to watch the game
I know.
at a Super
I
Bowl
won't.
party.
I'll be, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good to see you. No, it was a funny bit. No, I just want to watch the game in silence. So they're doing something down at Encinitas Ranch during the Super Bowl, and Hannah asked me a week ago, I thought it'd be fun. We'll get us and the Coopers, and we'll take the kids down. And I looked at her, I go, I don't want to do that. And she said, why not? And I go, because I want to watch the game. And she goes, but you don't care about these teams. I go, what do I do for a living? Every year, you know what happens to me? Every year, I come in, and you guys can, you know this. Oh, Woodsy, did you see that commercial? I'm like, no, I didn't. Tell it to me. I miss everything. I'm going
to take a picture of everything that Shelley made. The mac and cheese, the buffalo chicken
It won't get me at all.
Make you jealous.
It will not get me.
We're gonna have food.
I'll get food. I'll have my own food. I'll get a sandwich.
I'm the same way. I
Going
get
to
my phone out.
Vons
I
and
set
getting that little plastic tub of 7-layer dip is not a Super Bowl party for one.
It is for me.
I just have no.
I don't like watching big events
with other people. I really don't either.
And while you say you may not bother us, you can't speak for Joe Schmo, who's there and wants
Is Joe Schmo coming again to your party?
I mean,
Joey Schmidlap?
It's possible
Joey
that
Schmidlap.
Joe got an invitation.
Like, bro, I have my phone out with like the notes app because I do make notes of like, oh, this commercial,
This
pull that
commercial, this
in the
play.
morning.
I'm so bad at this job most days. I want to watch I just want to watch a game and unfettered, and I'm constantly fettered.
We don't need to break down the game
No,
hardly at all.
no, but
it is all the extra stuff.
It's the extra stuff, and it's
like,
the
what color was the
observations.
Gatorade bath? Oh, Woodsy bet on red.
I
It's
know.
yellow.
My theory, and you know that I've struggled with this in this job for 6 years. He, to my left, is my rock. He's my rock. He sees every play. He can explain it. Without him, I'd be dead. I'd be dead because I'm at home, even when the Padres are on. And it's, yeah, hang on. Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I'll throw you grounders. Yeah, I'll put you in the bath. I submit to you that guys that are supremely wealthy in this industry, they're terrible fathers. They don't have a choice. Or they're getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning to rewatch these games because there's just no time to do it. So for Super Bowl Sunday, I want to sit quiet and watch.
Well, Hannah's coming, which is good.
She is coming.
Yeah,
Okay,
she said
good.
she'll pop by.
Yeah, good. She can maybe, will you let her make
I'm
me a
usually
plate?
kind of the antisocial, don't want to go to the party. But
Well,
I
can
never
she
have
make
a problem
me a
with
plate
the
and
Super
bring it
Bowl.
over?
No. You know what, Hannah? You're not allowed to take Woods any leftovers from the party. He doesn't get a plate unless he comes over and makes an appearance.
I have no desire. I don't. My buddy Bauman used to have one every year, and I would go, all right, man, I'll come for half. And shots would get going, and next thing you know, it's like, bro, I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Last like 3
I know
Super Bowl parties.
I'm a dead ass. I get it.
Well,
The last 3 parties I remember going to outside of my home at somebody else's house, it was chaos.
It's chaos.
I'm sitting there. Can you shut up?
Shut up. What did he
Shut
say?
up.
What did they say? What? What's the penalty? It's a nightmare.
all right, let's be honest. If you did come, we know you. The game's what, at 3:30? You'd show up at 1
At
with
1.
your own Dr. Pepper. You'd leave by 2:15. So what does it even matter?
It's true. I'd miss kickoff. It's true. I bet.
You know what? If I lived down the street like Woods does,
Yeah.
I would pop by.
Shut
for,
up, Paul.
For
Shut
an
your
hour.
mouth. Just shut up, dude.
That's
You're not
right.
helping
You're fair.
me.
You're fair.
Paul,
That's
you're
a
off the
fair
hook. You
point.
live a little further away. I understand that, but there's no excuse for Woods not dropping by for at least
Can't
a
do
while.
it, man. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't do it. I just want. And I told her, take them, take the kids, go to the Encinitas Ranch, let them run around.
Go hang with Mr. Cooper.
The Coopers, just go. You guys will have a blast. And I go, Kevin's not going, the husband, because he's like me. He's got money on it. He wants to watch the game. She goes, no, he's coming. I go, well, then I'm crap dad for the day. I don't know what to tell you. I just want to watch the game.
Jordan says he'd come to my party. I know, Jordan. I know you'd hop on a plane in Raleigh right now just to fly out and come to the Super Bowl party. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be that good. It's not going to be that good, Jordan.
As long as Hannah
Fine.
brings the kids to your house, I'm fine. She can do whatever she wants.
I didn't invite the kids.
The kids are coming.
This is an adult party.
I'm not surprised. Adults only at Ben's Super Bowl party. There's another reason I'm not coming. I don't know what kind of things
Oh,
you
you
have.
can't have little ones
Carnal
just running
relations.
around distracting from the football watching.
Why do you think I want to be home watching it by myself? Orthodox Evan says Woodsy wants to be the guy from the Pink Floyd The Wall movie during the game. Yes, he's just in a chair like this. That's all I want. A bowl of Doritos. Can you just give me this one day, babe? Just this one day. I ask for a lot of these days. Sometimes I get them. She's pretty good about it. But this one I want to watch, and I want to watch the commercials. I want to pay attention. I have very bad ADD. As you know, it's hard for me anyway. And then if I'm at a party, I'm going to start chatting people up. And
Jeff says Super Bowl party at Ben's going to turn into Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah.
Here, Woodsy, here's your mask. Put this on. Oh, no, dude. It's a key party for the Super Bowl.
We'll come back, take on Woods. Saw a lot of outrage from former Chargers fans on my timeline. We'll get to that coming up next. Big game coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by Solo Stove. Feel the heat of the world's most popular smokeless fire pit. Visit them today at solostove.com. Part of the festivities of the Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, they had their big awards night. The NFL Awards also announced the new class of Hall of Famers for 2024.
Oh, this was a shock, man.
And there was definitely a lot of people, especially in my timeline, who were pretty incensed about the fact that Antonio Gates did not make the Hall of Fame in his first attempt on the ballot. Instead, the class will include some players like Dwight Freeney, Julius Peppers, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, a few others that will go into the Hall of Fame. And while I also agree that Antonio Gates should be a slam dunk Hall of Famer, he's by any definition, he is one of the three best tight ends in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
How can that person not be in the Hall of Fame?
Was it because of the old PED test?
Well, he had the 4-game suspension for a positive PED test during his career with the San Diego Chargers. Now, that has not kept other people necessarily out of the Football Hall of Fame like it does the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's apples and oranges here, comparing the two. And you laugh, but there's some sort of perception that baseball has a big, or had at least a big steroid PED problem that the NFL, never had. All those guys who are just naturally 315 pounds of pure rock muscle have all done so incredibly naturally without any chemical assistance whatsoever in the history of that league.
There's been guys popped for it every
Of
year,
course.
but they don't do congressional hearings about steroids.
They've had 300 players in their league history since they started, the actual testing, get popped for PED use.
No congressional. Now they do congressional hearings about concussions and things like that, which I think is very, very important. But the double standard for those two sports is staggering. But so, do you think that that's what it was? Because do you think without that
part of what it is that the way the NFL does it, they have 7 that go in, and only 5 from the modern class can be voted in, and they probably have 13 or 14 guys who are all deserving every year. So how do you decide which 5 go in this year? Which have to wait their turn? I've got no idea.
I think one of them is Antonio Gates. That's the really easy one to pick.
I mean, of the guys who went in this year, I wouldn't say any of them are more worthy than Antonio Gates.
That's exactly right. I thought Devin Hester was really, really great. But if you had to bump Devin Hester down to put Antonio Gates in, I don't think you have a problem.
I would totally agree. You asked me which player I want anchoring my team.
Andre Johnson was spectacular.
Yeah.
But give anybody who's better in the position, give me Antonio Gates all day long.
So in that sense, there had to be something in terms of just making him wait a year. I would think he'll get in next year, but it raised some eyebrows, certainly. They also announced all the awards, and as we all expected, Lamar Jackson was named the NFL MVP. Continues a streak of, 7 or 8 years that the MVP of the NFL just happens to be the quarterback of one of the 2 teams that got the number 1 seed in the playoffs. So the MVP award now just every year goes to the quarterback of the best team in football. Could have been Brock Purdy, could have been Lamar Jackson. One of those 2 guys, Lamar Jackson, got all but one first-place vote. His second MVP award, he becomes the youngest, surpassing Patrick Mahomes in the NFL to win 2 Most Valuable Player awards. They also give out Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year. I think one of the reasons why the quarterback of the best team always wins the MVP is the fact that they have this Offensive Player of the Year to give to someone else. That went to Christian McCaffrey. When you know you've got that backup award, it's like, well, let's make the quarterbacks the MVP because the quarterback is such an important position in the NFL. And then the most spectacular player of the year, we'll give them the Offensive Player of the Year. Why isn't Christian McCaffrey the MVP? I don't know if he's the Offensive Player of the Year. It's not like Lamar Jackson played any defense either. They were both offensive players.
Yeah.
If Christian McCaffrey was a better offensive player than Lamar Jackson, why is he not the MVP?
Do you have any trouble or problem with the comeback player of the year? This one caught a lot of
people did. I agreed with it wholeheartedly. I guess it just depends on what you your definition of comeback player of the year.
Well,
Joe
one
Flacco
guy came back from the dead. That's pretty good.
Joe
I
Flacco
think.
won the comeback player of the year over DeMar Hamlin.
Which of them died?
I'm pretty sure it was Hamlin.
And
Although
did he come back?
I have no idea. Flacco was pretty dead too in his career-wise.
His career dead. One was actually dead. I really didn't have a problem with it
Which
either.
one had a much bigger impact on their team
Joe
though
Flacco.
this season?
Joe Flacco.
Is Joe Flacco
by far.
And I think that's where you have to decide. Is it a award you give to someone who had a really good season this year
Or
that
a
just
great
came back
story.
from anything, or are you just giving it to the great story? If it's the story, yes, DeMar Hamlin is the incredible, inspirational story. The guy who had a much better season, and both of them were really coming back from not contributing. Well, DeMar Hamlin did contribute. I mean, he's a backup player for the Buffalo Bills. You know, Joe Flacco came in and led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs
Which
after
is
being
insane.
You know, pretty much a washed-up has-been in football. I mean, to me, that's more of a comeback story.
I'm going to give you some credit, too, because I think you called this months ago. Dan Campbell not winning Coach of the Year, I don't think is that big of an oversight. As much as I love Dan Campbell, I think he's fantastic. I would love to play for a guy like Dan Campbell. What Kevin Stefanski did was much better coaching. And you said, because the Lions were actually expected to do that this year. But again, that's because of the work Dan Campbell's put in previous to this season. So they did what they were supposed to do. Did they exceed expectations? Sure. Nobody exceeded expectations like Kevin Stefanski with five different
there was
quarterbacks.
one team that did, and people were mad. Actually,
Who was it?
Well, I'll tell you. We need a contestant for Take on Woods. Give us a call, 833-288-0973. Right now, we're going to play in like 2 or 3 minutes, so this is your chance. The phone lines are wide open. 833-288-0973, our musical trivia game. Qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. He actually only narrowly beat out the guy that a lot of people said should have won it, and that was the head coach of the Houston Texans, DeMeco Ryans, a team that won, 3 games the year before.
God, that's
and then came all the way back to make the playoffs this year.
My counter to that is, he did it with a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Kevin Stefanski did it with 5 quarterbacks, including Joe Flacco. So, I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. C.J. Stroud deserves a lot of that credit, too. But, yeah, I think
they got the right
they
guy
got the right
in Stefanski.
I do, too.
Just because... And I don't know. I mean, DeMeco Ryans, I'm sure, helped C.J. Stroud in some ways this season. I mean, he was a defensive guy, but he's the head coach. You give him some credit for the quarterback. He was also very fortunate to end up with C.J. Stroud as his quarterback, and not Bryce Young, and not have all kinds of injuries that Kevin Stefanski had to deal with. So in in pure coaching terms, I would say Kevin Stefanski did the best job this year and was the rightful winner of the Coach of the Year award in the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, CJ was great.
All right, so that was awards night last night. They will. They've got 2 more days left, and then finally we'll get to the game. We'll have our picks, discuss it a little bit later in the second half of Ben and Woods. Right now, though, it is time to play our final game of the week. Let's get to some Take on Woods. All right, Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com, and we welcome Ryan in as our contestant this morning. Good Friday to you, Ryan. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. All right, Woods has left the studio, so you get to go first. 5 questions. If you can beat or tie him, we will put you into our grand prize drawing for the 2-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Hotel and tickets to see Air Supply in concert. They'll be performing May 31st and June 1st at the Westgate International Theater. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Give you the advantage of knowing the category in advance. Here are your choices, Ryan. We've got Add a Zero. That is each title adds a 0 to the answer as you go along. I think it's a fun one. We'll see. Hook, line, and sinker. The word hook in each of the answers for that one. And we'll bring back the song title crawl, which, if you remember, we did this one before. The last word of each song title will be the first word of the next answer of the song title all the way through. So, Ryan, Add a Zero, hook, line, and sinker, or the song title crawl. What would you like to play?
let's go song title Crawl.
Song title Crawl. We haven't done this in a while, but we did do it before. So again, here's how it works. Starting with the 2-second song that you'll hear. The last word of every song title will be the first word of the next song title. So if you don't get one, you kind of got to restart and figure it out. You can always pass if you don't know one. Maybe it'll help you come back in the end and figure it out. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as the 5 as possible. Then Woods comes in, we do it all over again and see if you qualify. So Ryan, are you ready to play?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Again, it's our song title crawl, so the last word of the title is the first word of the next title. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Ryan. Let's take on Woods.
Every breath you take.
By?
Every breath.
What's the artist?
Foreigner?
It's not Foreigner, but you got the title right. So REO Speedwagon, heard it from a friend who, heard it from a friend who, heard it from another you've been messing around, in which 1980 hit? That's this question.
Pass.
All right, which 1984 Bryan Adams single about infidelity includes the line, "When the feeling's right, I'm gonna stay all night"?
I pass.
All right, the New Radicals count their way into which 1998 signature hit? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, oh.
Oh, man. I got to pass. I lost it on
All
that
right, just
second one.
before Under the Bridge, the Red Hot Chili Peppers had their first Billboard charting hit with which 1991 track that, like the title implies, is about altruism? Once you miss one, this can be a very tricky category. So you did get Every Breath You Take, but that's the Police.
Not Foreigner.
Not Foreigner. So Take, then is Take It on the Run by REO Speedwagon. Run is Run to You by Bryan Adams. You is You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. And Give is Give It Away by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right, that's a zero. All right, let's bring Woods in.
I think this one's going to be pretty easy for Woodsy.
And we've got our independent verifiers to see that Woods does not know what's going on.
He doesn't actually cheat, you guys. He leaves.
He always asks,
actually
"What's
leaves
cheats
the
at this
studio.
game, right?" He can't be that good. No, he is. He plays it straight up every single time. All right, Ryan's score is locked in. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Ryan.
Every Breath You Take by the Police.
Correct. REO Speedwagon, heard it from a friend who, heard it from a friend who, heard it from another you've been messing around, in which 1980 hit?
Take It on the Run.
Correct. Which 1984 Bryan Adams single about infidelity includes the line, "When the feeling's right, I'm gonna stay all night"?
Run to You.
Correct. The New Radicals count their way into which 1998 signature hit? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, oh.
It's You Only Get What You Give?
Close, but not quite. Just before Under the Bridge, the Red Hot Chili Peppers had their first Billboard charting hit with which 1991 track that, like the title implies, is about altruism?
Oh, Give It Away.
Correct. 4 out of 5. It's You Get What You Give, not You Only.
What did I say?
You only get what you give. I think you added only.
Boy, that was
You still win 4-0.
Oh, another shutout.
Any
Sorry.
idea what the category was?
Something I thought Run for a second.
idea.
It's tough. This is one of the you can never figure out. That's one of our song title crawls. So Every Breath You Take, Take It on the Run, Run to You, You Get What You Give It Away.
If you miss one of them, you could really screw
I
yourself.
thought
Yeah, and Ryan got a little bit messed up in the beginning, and it just kind of fell apart from
Thanks
there.
for calling in.
Give me that REO song, because that is just the greatest.
They're kind of playing phone tag at the start of this. Heard it from a friend who.
Heard it from a
friend who. Heard it from another. It's not
You've
even
been
a
messing
friend
around.
at that point. I mean, do you really believe it if you heard something from a friend who heard something from another friend who just heard something from another? Like, I'd want to verify a little bit more. At this point, it's basically a tweet from a guy in Asia.
Fair enough. Yeah.
that your girlfriend was messing around on you.
That song is so cutting. Me and we love that song. We blast that song in the car. There's a line in it. Give me some of that, Paulie, before we go to break. I can't.
Take It on the Run.
There it is.
There
we
it is.
go.
Nope, I can't hear it. There it is. She's got a very high voice. She's like, yeah, I've been cheating on you. Your voice is higher than mine. Of course I have.
You're not being truthful. Your voice went up.
Yeah, your voice went up. This is just how I sing. What are you talking about? You're
Say you
out
had a
late every
boyfriend.
weekend.
You're out late every weekend.
Talking about you and bringing me down. I know the neighborhood and talks cheap. Everyone's always running their mouth.
Yeah.
He doesn't buy
He
it.
doesn't totally believe the phone tag.
But then he says, take it on the run if that's the way you want it. Just go out and get it. Just I don't want to know about it. That's kind of his bit.
Is that what that means?
I think that's what it means. Take it on the run. Just keep it on down low.
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you for playing. Woodsy finishes the week with a win. We will come back. We'll do a little Don't Do This when we return. Finish up the week here.
Anytime there's an extortion case, I'm
involving
interested,
one of the
Benjamin.
greats of all time in any sport.
I had not heard about
a couple of sports, actually. That certainly belongs in Don't Do This. We'll get to that coming up next. Back after a check of traffic with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. The Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. That's saying something. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. Thecrafttaco.com. I don't think... Do you remember seeing this story before?
I never saw. I don't remember this
because
story
we're already
at
at the resolution here, but it involves Bo Jackson, maybe the most electric athlete of our lifetime.
Yep, I think that's fair.
Former MLB and NFL star, Heisman Trophy winner from Auburn, who apparently was the victim of a blackmail/extortion scheme conjured up by his niece and nephew.
Oh.
Thomas Lee Anderson and his sister Erica Anderson Ross were trying to extort $20 million out of Bo Jackson, threatening to reveal private information, things that just have not been made public, apparently, about Bo, medical stuff that they said. There was no specifics. Obviously, you try to keep this stuff private in a blackmail extortion case if there was actually anything out there to begin with. But Bo was like, no, I'm not having any of it.
Is there anything in your life that if they're like, you give me $20 million, I'd be like, just tell them. Tell them, I don't care. At this point, if it's $20 million or everybody knows, then just tell
Woods,
them.
you're so open. You're
I'm
like
pretty
immune
open.
to extortion, pretty much. You just tell everybody on the radio to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Ben, we can extort Ben and finally find out what's in his garage.
That is true. I would like to extort you.
But anyway,
he wouldn't pay.
So he reported them, sued them in a civil case, and just won $21 million from them. Now, my guess is they've got no way to pay Bo Jackson.
If they're extorting him for 20, where are we going to come
Andersons
up with 21?
also must stay at least 500 yards from the Jacksons and remove from social media any content about them, according to the judge's ruling in this case.
I'd say they got off pretty light, man.
Jackson claimed the harassment started in 2022, included threatening social media posts and messages, public allegations that put him in a false light, and public disclosure of private information intended to cause him severe emotional distress.
Interesting. This is kind of a developing story, but a big one, I think, in the world of the NFL. Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens, Ben. It was confirmed on Tuesday. Baltimore County Police Department is investigating an incident related to Zay Flowers and domestic violence, potentially an alleged assault in Owings Mills. And no suspects yet have been named in the investigation. They keep it very, very quiet. The police department is prohibited from commenting on the matter or answering any questions or providing any records responsive to any inquiries right now. He has not been charged with a crime yet and has not been named as a suspect, but there was an incident. He's been mentioned, so kind of a headache for him if he did nothing wrong. But, I think more will come out probably in the next few days, but not a great thing for the Baltimore Ravens if they have to deal with this again.
Zay, really good rookie season.
Very, very nice season.
Like to be someone that you'd think they're going to want to count on for a few more years.
They called him, Fox 45 News called him. He abruptly disconnected a phone call when asked about the incident. His agent has not responded to requests for comment yet either.
All right, so a little do this on a Friday. And
DD mega do.
I understand Kobe Bryant still somewhat polarizing. People still don't like Kobe, do like Kobe. So I'm going to give the do this to Vanessa Bryant. Yesterday, they unveiled what turns out it's going to be the first of 3 Kobe Bryant statues that the Lakers are commissioning.
One with him wearing number 8, which was unveiled yesterday.
Yes.
One with him wearing number 24, and then one with him and
his
Gigi.
daughter. Yeah. So this was the first one.
Are these all going to go out in front of the Staples Center there?
I think so. They didn't give all the details like the whens and the wheres of the future statues, but Vanessa said that's the plan. So this was the 8 statue. It's Kobe kind of with his right hand up in the air. It's a pose from a picture taken right after his 81-point performance against the Toronto Raptors in 2006. And I think some people maybe were expecting more of an action basketball type shot, whatever. But Vanessa quickly addressed any possible critics out there with one swift comment at the unveiling yesterday outside Crypto.com Arena.
And for the record, Kobe picked the pose you're about to see. So if anyone has any issues with it, tough It is what it is.
Pretty baller. Just in front of a big, celebrities, former players.
What would yours be?
What would be my pose?
Now, he picked it. He picked
He
what
picked it,
pose
yeah.
he wanted for his
Before he
statue.
died, they were already talking about the statue, and this is the one that he said he thought best reflected his spirit or, what he wanted to be remembered for.
Yeah. What about you?
My pose.
I got your power stance that you do.
Oh,
when
he
you're-
loves a power
He
stance.
does this when he's doing an interview in the field. He gets down low, like a catcher coming up to make a throw.
Shoves his crotch in
Crotch
the
right in the guy's
interviewee's
face.
No,
He does.
so-
He stands like with his wiener forward.
So you saw that
and
someone
down.
tweeted me, and they said, "Why do you look like an X on TV?"
He does. He's like,
I look like an X because I stand like this.
you stand wide.
And
You have a
I
good
said,
firm
part of
base.
it is because I'm so tall. I'm trying to
Get
lower
down on their
myself
level.
a little bit, just on a set where it's designed for much smaller TV people. But I actually got a great tip from my colleague Wale, who said, "Oh, you know what you do? Just do the same thing, but do it 1 foot in front of the other." So I kind of started doing this a little bit.
So like a lunge?
And yeah, a little more of a lunge when I'm standing on television now.
I'm here with Fernando Tatis
So
Jr.
maybe the
How are you?
first statue
Is
can
wide.
be the wide, and then the lunge can be the second statue. I would definitely want to be holding a
microphone.
I like that look.
So
You know,
definitely TV, then not radio.
Well, we could do one with maybe a headset, like a radio headset for one,
Okay.
on a wide stance, and then the lunge with a microphone, a handheld mic for another.
I would want mine laying down in my bed on my phone. Like my statue would be flat, so I would just be laying down on my phone, which is where I pretty much spend the majority of my days.
And then the final statue will be
The Kangol and the chains.
will be Kangol and the chains.
Yeah, sitting.
Yeah,
Getting
just,
ready
maybe ready to read a rap.
to rock some rhymes. Paulie, how about you?
God, I don't even know.
No? Look at him.
What would your statue be?
I just said.
Oh yeah.
You just bend me.
Yeah, bend you.
There was an
I'm so
interview.
distracting here in my.
There was an
Henry's
interview
Raps
we
gear.
did one time where we were at the top of the dugout and the subject, and I can't remember
Jake.
who
It was Jake
Cronenworth.
Jake.
And Jake was
picture
standing
somewhere.
in the dugout, kind of on the upper level of it. But Ben had the mic, and his dong was right in his face. And he's like, "So, you having a good year?" And the microphone went like right here, and Jake's like looking up right into Ben's crotch. We have pictures somewhere.
I'm
Paulie's
looking for it
furiously
right now.
scrolling for them. And after the interview, I saw the video. I go,
Why didn't he just walk up?
Why
and
didn't he
stand
walk
on the
away?
level that we were at? I think we felt like we're not really allowed to go into the dugout.
I have a
so
really
why don't you come out of the
good-
dugout?
I just got a really good bit idea for spring training. A really good one. We'll see if you're up for it. Because it's not going to be me. I'll tell you that right now. Okay?
Where's that damn?
Oh, you
photo?
got to find it. It's so good. His face is right. He's like, yeah, I'm swinging it pretty good. Feeling good. Just staring into Ben's wiener, and the microphone extended like from his wiener. It was incredible. It was so good. I didn't notice it until after. And it was just electric. Best interviewer in the game, many say.
I'll find it during
With
the break.
that said,
That's
Paulie's gonna
don't
dig
and
for it.
do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Speaking of DDT, you could certainly make the argument that Josh Hader's comments on foul territory qualified. If you missed this, he discussed
Goodness,
the
man.
controversy from last season about not going in for multiple out, a 4 or 5 out save, not going in 3 days in a row, and gave his complete and rational reasoning. Didn't necessarily make it any better, though. We'll play those comments for you and discuss coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Rob Manfred is just the worst.
He is literally the worst.
The worst.
He's the worst. He's the worst of our lifetime, yeah?
You're gonna lose your mind.
Oh, no.
At this quote. Oh, God. You're gonna lose your. This is new. This is brand new from Evan Drellick, from a quote yesterday, talking about. The article is ostensibly about the Dodgers' big spending this offseason and what it means for baseball in context of the Padres and the Mets spending a lot last offseason. And here's the quote that even got little old me kind of going, this is so bad. We always watch trends in the market. I think a concern for baseball has always been, since I started in 1988, disparity on the revenue and the payroll side. Having said that, last year, we were talking about a different team eating up players, or two teams, right? And unless my recollection was bad, neither one of them were at that little event we hold in late October and early November. God.
Oh, the one where they give away the hunk of metal?
The hunk of metal. The little event where they give away the hunk of metal.
He's such a... I have to censor myself. He's a butt munch is what he is.
I mean, he considered
is
last season a success because the Padres weren't successful.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, that tells you everything right there. Not only was he mad that they did it, he was rooting against them all season long.
It felt like
and
it.
I'm not a conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But when you have your commissioner of the league overtly showing how much he wants a team to fail just to prove a point that he doesn't want everyone spending, isn't that going to just fuel more rumors like, God, bad umpires calls? You think any umpire is going to get in trouble for ruling something against a Padres team that the commissioner is overtly cheering against?
You mean the 15 blocking the plates that called against us last year? The one, I got him by 6 feet. Yeah, sorry, he's in the line. I mean, this is... Now you've done it. Now you have done it. I've not liked that guy from minute one. You need someone in baseball who, and I understand that they are the owners, that's their puppet. And I do understand that. I know how business works. I'm not an idiot. I want it to be altruistic and beautiful as well. You have to like the game. You have to love the game of which you are a commissioner. It needs to be in your soul. It needs to be in your cells. It has to make up who you are. He doesn't care about baseball. He wants it quicker. He wants to make more money. And that's it. He doesn't care about any of the beauty of the game, what makes up the perfectness that baseball is. He doesn't care.
If you want the good news, he also implied in this conversation that he is stepping down at the end of his contract.
Which is like 2030 or something.
2029, yeah.
Perfect.
End of the 2028 season, January of 2029.
And we'll be in our mid-50s when that happens.
He'll be 70. He's 65 now. So 5 more years of Rob Manfred as commissioner.
What's he going to say if the Dodgers don't make the World Series this year? Will
he'll probably be happy too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just... He would love to see the 2 lowest payroll teams make the World Series every single year. Just as a disincentive for every team to spend money forever.
But why? Why? Because he wants his owners wealthy?
Because his owners then make more money. I mean, that's the job. That's the job of modern commissioner. It's not the health of your sport. It's not to ensure a level playing field or
not to grow
that
the
game. Rules are followed or to grow the game. It's to ensure that your owners make as much money as possible, that the value of their teams grows as much as possible, that all revenue streams are squeezed, every drop out of them possible. That's the job of the modern commissioner.
Listen, man.
I mean, commissioner is such a bad... the commissioner is a bad word for it. No. You're the CEO of the sport.
You're CEO of baseball.
CEO of baseball, CEO of football, CEO of hockey, CEO of basketball. That's really a more accurate description of the job nowadays. In the old days, when you had Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis or, Peter Uberah, at least there was some nod to, your job is more impartial. It's more of the... you're weighing the needs of players and owners and fans and the growth of the sport and the game, and that was all part of it. Now you're simply a puppet and a mouthpiece for owners trying to make them the most money possible.
And there were other quotes he had yesterday talking about the A's situation, and again, he's like, well, they need to figure it out somewhere in the West in the next couple of years. I'm like, hey, Dillhole, you rubber stamped this before they had a plan in place. Like, I know that they voted and the owner, you're the commissioner. You could have easily said, guys, this is not coming to a vote until we have a hard, concrete plan for these morons that want to. Now they're out calling ballparks going, can we get like 17 games there in Salt Lake? Like, you're a big league team. And the fact that he's letting Fisher do this, it's another black mark on Rob Manfred. He is the worst. He is just the worst.
All right,
man.
speaking of putting your foot in your mouth, going to play some comments from Josh Hader that came out yesterday.
This sucks, too.
Do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by San Diego Mojo. Well, forget scattered showers. Some parts of the county really getting drenched, you guys, and got this huge rainbow to go along with that. So if you're out driving, try to keep your eyes on the road, not on the rainbow. We've got numerous crashes here. One on westbound King Freeway right at the 805 connector. Also northbound 125, an accident right at the 8. Eastbound 52 at the 805, a collision. Yeah, I'm seeing a real trend here with these transition ramps. That's where you got to take it extra carefully, guys. Northbound at 15, an accident right around Bernardo Center. That's over to the right shoulder. Saw this crash on the coastline, southbound 5 at Manchester. They've just cleared that out of lanes. Get ready because the San Diego Mojo Pro Women's Indoor Volleyball Team is taking professional sports to a whole new level. Don't miss the nonstop excitement of indoor volleyball starting this February at the Yejas Arena. Visit SanDiegoMojoVB.com today. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, new Houston Astros closer Josh Hader was interviewed on the MLB Foul Territory show/podcast, and the topic turned to last season's, I guess you'd call it controversy, as the Padres were playing down the stretch and looking like they probably weren't going to make the playoffs, but weren't out of it. A couple of situations where Josh Hader could have come in, in the 8th inning in a key situation to try to get a 4 or 5 out save and didn't. Could have come in for a third straight day to try to get a save and a key victory for the Padres and didn't. And we heard the comments, of course, he made last year, kind of alluding to the fact that he's only been he's a 1-inning guy, and that's how the Milwaukee Brewers, and he came to that kind of agreement and that decision with them, and he continued that with the San Diego Padres. Well, he went into a little more detail with MLB's Foul Territory, and this is about a three-minute clip here, Paulie? All right, let's play it.
3 minutes.
It sucks that the business had to come in that way, because it is. At the end of the day, I love playing this game. I'm going to do anything I can to win. But also, you got to think about the health of yourself and being able to provide for your family. Now, I was, like you said, I was going through the arbitration system, and I was with the Brewers. It's not like the Padres put me through that process, but the system told me that the way that any reliever, not even just myself, but any reliever is valued based off saves. And, for me at the time, I was going multiple innings, going from the 4th inning maybe to the 7th, also doing 2 2/3 save outings and just different things like that, which I was fine with. But when I was told to my face that, that's not worth anything, like you got to get saves, that's where I was like, well, I'm not going to blow my arm out if you're not going to invest in me. So my investment back was, I'll get you the inning, I'll get you the saves, and we'll do everything, but you got to put a team in a bullpen around to do that, right? And obviously, the team that we had going into that year, we had a back-end bullpen that was unbelievable. So, I think that's where things sometimes show a little bit more of the business when, things kind of fall out of place where, maybe we get into a jam and we need some help, and everybody's expecting that to be me. So, yeah, I mean, it hurts, obviously, for the fan base, and, it's not something that I wanted to do to them, but at the same time, I have to take care of myself and make sure that I make it healthy out of that year. But like I said before, I think the biggest thing a lot of people don't realize is, like, once you get to playoffs, for me, it was like full game. Like, I was willing to do whatever we needed to do to win. Because I think, and obviously you guys played this game, is like it takes a complete army to make it through a whole entire season. And it's going to take guys from the minor leagues. It's going to take guys that are coming back from injuries to step up and do their job. So I think that's kind of where at that moment, like we were close to potentially making a playoff spot. And at that end of the year where they think, oh, well, if he could have came in this situation, maybe we could have won. And now, obviously, hypothetically, like if I do my job correctly, like, sure. But if I go in there and blow it, like what's the saying then?
The saying then is that we lost with our best player on the mound. That's the saying, Josh. How do you not get this? He's been in the league for forever.
Understand that, like,
good Lord.
You would rather have that opportunity to say, look, we gave it the chance and he failed, but at least that he tried. But at the end of the day,
oh my God.
This
is like Bo
to the Padres
talking.
fans.
This is insane.
You know, I gave it my all.
Did you?
It sucks that the business had to kind of put that sour taste in their mouth.
Bro, it's so infuriating because there's so many things to unpack from it. I am a person that believes in baseball players getting paid. I want them to get the most for their ability. I want radio hosts to get the most for their ability.
He did make $14.1 million last year.
14 million. And by the way, again, you're upset about how your first girlfriend treated you, and your next girlfriend treated you with respect. They did not take you to arbitration. They didn't wear you out. They paid you $14 million. By the way, when you came over here and you were horrible, they stuck with you. They worked with you. Ruben Niebla got his hands dirty and got you right. And you had a nice little run for us in that first year. That I'll never forget you striking out those 3 Dodgers. I'll never forget it in my life. That said, we go into the next year, expectations are higher, and I understand you're looking down the barrel of a free agent year, but you're also making $14 million, man. And
don't say they weren't invested.
And don't say they weren't invested. And I think about how many times I went, man, Hader would be great here. He'd be great here. I can be in favor of a guy getting his bag and taking care of himself for his family and everything else. But I can also say you let your teammates down a lot last year, man. Not just the fan base.
There is I think there's an idea, especially when you're doing this job, that there has to be the right side and the wrong side, and he's right and he's wrong. See that on social media a lot. In this case, I think both sides are kind of wrong. You know, Josh Hader is wrong.
What are both sides? What's the other side?
The Brewers, when they told him, hey, you're only going to get paid if you get saves.
Yeah, I think that's. But the other thing,
that doesn't really make sense. You know, a pitcher should not be valued simply because they get the last 3 outs. A pitcher should really be valued on, you know,
how good he is,
strikeout ratios and ERA, and the numbers behind the numbers mean more. And I don't want to take anything away from great closers. We've talked to Trevor Hoffman enough that there is certainly a mentality and there's something special that goes into finishing out games in the 9th inning. However, no one can deny there's a big difference between coming in and with a 3-run lead and getting 3, not meaningless, but hey, you're playing 7, 8, 9 hitters. You've got a 3-run lead going into the 9th inning. That save is totally different than saying, coming in maybe with 2 outs in the 8th inning, the bases loaded in a 1-run game, and getting that out, and then getting the next 4 in against the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the 9th inning to get that save.
Yeah, they're weighted differently.
There's not even a comparison between those two things, but in the end, it's one save, it's another save. They're not weighted the same in my mind, and they shouldn't be weighted the same by the Milwaukee Brewers when you go into an arbitration hearing with Josh Hader. You look at Josh Hader, and they should have just paid the guy in arbitration and said, yeah, you're the most valuable reliever in baseball.
Right.
You get about anybody out. You get more guys out and you strike more guys out than any other reliever in baseball. There's no one more valuable than you. There's nothing we can really say. Yeah, maybe you only had 33 saves. We should have gotten you more leads. Then that was our fault. That wasn't your fault. To tell him that and to then give him that mindset that, well, if I want to get paid, I better focus on those saves and not do anything that might cost me a save in the 8th inning by coming in early. That's ridiculous.
You know what I don't see in baseball? A lot of guys getting underpaid. A lot of guys that are really good at their job getting underpaid. I don't really see it. I don't see it. It doesn't really happen. You ever see a guy get underpaid? Maybe they signed a deal where, like Ozzie Albies, probably underpaid, but he signed it. Nobody put a gun to his head. Josh, everybody knew you were the best closer in baseball. You were going to get paid as such. It absolutely, and it had nothing to do with the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres treated him well. So you can't talk about the sour taste in our mouth. We absolutely have it. And congratulations on getting the deal that's going to take care of your family. But, man, you let some of your teammates down, and you did let some of the fans down.
I also understand, no one wants to get hurt, especially when they're going to be a free agent going into a season.
But does it make sense when you say
overworked? But
does it make sense when you say, well, as long as we got to the playoffs, then I was going to do whatever they asked of me?
I promise you,
That's the same season.
didn't want to injure Josh Hader
But Ben,
at all.
it doesn't
in that year.
make sense. It doesn't make sense when you say, I'm going to just cruise through the regular season, and I'll get my saves. But then you're still in a free agent walk year. You're still walking at the end of the year. You're still going to be a free agent. Now you can really use me.
Ultimately,
that doesn't make sense.
And what really bothers us the most, and we talked about it a little bit during the season, but I don't know if we've ever really said it out loud. Josh Hader didn't believe in his team last year.
Correct.
He didn't believe they were going to go on a run, and he felt those games were meaningless. And in the end, it turned out the Padres finished, 2 games behind the Arizona Diamondbacks.
2 games. One
One of those games was a game the Padres lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks late in the season where maybe if he had come in the 8th inning and flipped it, they both win 83 games. Padres have the tiebreaker.
We win.
They go
We're
to
in.
the playoffs. Now, can you get to the playoffs with 83, 84 wins and make it to the World Series? Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
So, it turned out that those 1 or 2 appearances that he didn't want to come in for could have been absolutely critical
As
for the
incredible
Padres
as those
season.
3 strikeouts of the Dodgers were in the NLDS, the last image
last-
I have
it
of
was-
Josh Hader will be that.
Yep. Terrible, dude. Terrible.
Sucks.
You got some thoughts? You can join us, 833-288-0973. Give us a call. Talk Josh Hader. We'll reset the show. Coming back, hour number 3 next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you. Yeah, I got a little fired up in that last segment about Rob Manfred and Josh Hader. Two guys that I really don't like bagging on guys when they're gone. I think we bagged on him plenty when he was here, as far as how that last season ended up. But we can get more into that if you want to. Not like there's a ton of other stuff to talk about. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And it's just a tough thing to think about, having your teammates going, man, this would be an ideal spot for Josh Hader. And Josh saying, well, I mean, you never know. I could have blown the game. Well, but yeah, like if Manny Machado boots a ball at third, I'm better with him booting a ball at third than Matt Batten playing third and booting a ball. I want to lose with my best guys on the field if I got to lose every time.
I want to hear what Padres fans have to say about those comments, what you just heard.
Oh, did you ask for calls?
I did.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
833-288-0973. I mean, we don't have to take them instantly, but we're getting people starting to call in, and I feel like there's going to be some reaction to those comments. We have our Tier 1 tour continuing later this hour. It is the New York Mets' turn as we preview each team, counting down until opening day for the Padres. Today, Casey Stern of the Unfiltered podcast will be with us at 8:35 this morning. We'll talk a little New York Mets.
Big Mets guy.
Reindl Report at 9 o'clock, and then we'll give you our Super Bowl picks. Now, I don't think mine is worth anything. Paulie won our picks game, so obviously he knows what he's talking about.
Obviously.
But you have already teased. You have put your money where your mouth is on this, and a lot.
Shut up. It's very.
You said
that was off the air.
You said
off the air. I said yes.
That was
off the air.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're in trouble. Now we know why you didn't want to go to a Super Bowl party, though.
I'm curious who you picked, though, and have this much faith in.
If I'm ever running from the law, the last person I'm going to tell is Ben. I know where he is. He's right over there. I didn't
officer.
know. Here he is. Was I not supposed to say anything?
You didn't tell me not to say anything.
That's private business. It's my own private. If I wanted to share it on the air, I would have. I'll tell you who I picked. Here comes the text. I guarantee you.
Everyone bets on the Super Bowl. That's not unusual.
No, there it is.
What'd you say? ...
Oh
no!
Now I'm pouring sweat. God dang it!
Sorry,
damn it, Ben.
Sorry, I didn't. I thought that was on here.
It was
that you
off
mentioned
the air.
That was off the air.
Off the air. Yes.
So confusing when we're just talking the whole 4 hours.
The blue light is on.
What's on the air? What's off the air?
God.
It can be
Snitch.
difficult to. I didn't realize. I thought that was something you said in our open today.
All right, just so you know, if he winds up in the back of a trunk with a rat in his mouth, you know who did it.
What are we talking about? Like $10,000?
No, God, no.
See,
Come on.
No, it's nothing. It's
no,
nothing.
No.
Exactly.
It's enough to make you uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. And it's enough to make me uncomfortable. To where I want to watch the
is
game.
enough to make me uncomfortable. So.
Oh, good idea. New segment. Ben reads private texts. Here on Ben and Woods. Ben spills the beans. Should he have to eat a bean for that? I think the answer is yes.
Oh, yeah.
You bean spiller.
Where's the beans?
It's right here.
I thought we were going to take some phone calls.
They can wait. I get to spin it. Dead fish again. This is wild. It's like every time. It's so weird. This one's got a lot of spice to it.
That's not dead fish color.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think so.
Right there, right?
I say you just pick a bean.
I'll just randomly pick any bean.
It's either good or bad.
What could it be?
I don't know. Let's see that red.
This red one.
Old bandage.
Oh.
or
I'm gonna throw up.
Pomegranate. Both are hideous. So
if it's old bandage, I might throw up.
It's a Band-Aid.
Yes! It serves you right.
Like?
You rat.
Band-Aid.
Like you're chewing on a Band-Aid?
Like a Band-Aid. Like an old bandage?
Well.
Yeah, he's about to throw up. If I saw Scraby put that Thai food down, I wonder if he could just take all of these and eat them all in one fell swoop.
Still there.
Still there. That's what happens. You rat out your friends.
Oh, there's the aftertaste.
Oh, he's gonna. Is this worse than the fish?
No, but bad. Stuck in my teeth now.
That's what you get.
I just got a text from our friend Jeff Hamby. Wants to know when you'll be letting everybody know about Boomer and Valenti. Just for the record, I did. I just got a text from him.
Right now, actually.
Okay.
I know it's the moment everyone's been waiting for. The wait is almost over. 7 o'clock tonight. Boomer Esiason and Mike Valenti. I think so. I don't think since they preview games, my guess is this will be the last one they can preview. Tonight on 97.3 The Fan and on the Odyssey app, it is presented nationally by Casamigos Tequila, brought to you by those who drink it, and by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
Say the farmer's dog.
You know how the pharmacy aisle smells that has the Band-Aids? That's what that tastes like.
He's washing it down with iced coffee, by the way, which is an interesting combo.
Anything's better. That's really bad.
Was it really bad?
Yeah. I thought it wasn't going to be that bad, but
Elisa says nothing touches the Band-Aid flavor. I brushed, flossed, ate all kinds of strong tasting foods, etc. Enjoy your day. Spill the beans, eat some beans is the new bit on Ben and Woods.
All right, let's go out to the phones. Reacting to Josh Hader's comments yesterday, 833-288-0973. We got Mike on the line. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Ben and Woods.
What's up, boys?
What's up, buddy? Good. How you doing, man?
So I'm going to talk about Josh Hader, but I also want to pivot to talk about the Dodgers layaway situation. Is that okay?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. So Josh Hader, obviously, he's a jerk. Always has been a jerk. The tweets. I mean, are we really surprised? Honestly, are we really surprised about how stupid he is and also how much of a jerk he is? No, we shouldn't be surprised. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, not our problem anymore. That's kind of that's the sentiment I saw last night is like, all right, Houston, enjoy this. And I do think our boss, Adam, made a really good point in our group chat last night. He said, so basically, Josh Hader signing with Houston, that's going to cost Ryan Presley, according to Josh Hader, the chance to get saves and get paid.
Right.
Now, Ryan Presley's comments were like, I'm so happy to have him here. I want to go win a World Series. And I think I do believe that from Ryan Presley. I do. There are guys.
It also will cost him some money.
It will cost him some money. There's no doubt about it.
That's part of the game. If there's someone better than you on the team, you may be a great player. You may be a great first baseman, but if they have a better first baseman than you, you're not going to get as many opportunities.
That's exactly right.
That's part of making your bag in Major League Baseball is you got to do well on the field. You got to get on the field too.
Yeah,
and that means you have to outperform some of your teammates at the same time.
Now let's talk layaway.
All right, so let's talk layaway. So last week, I'm driving up to Harrah's, going for a weekend with my wife, and I get a call. I pick up, and it's a weird number, and I think, oh, hey, it's Arturo from the Dodgers, blah, 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 blah.
What?
You want to buy tickets?
Like ticket sales rep?
Correct, yeah. You want to buy, like, you enjoyed your time at Dodger Stadium. You want to buy more tickets? And I started laughing, just hilariously laughing, and he's like, sir, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I said, I think this is hilarious that you guys are begging Padres fans to buy tickets. I said, well, first of all, I said, I have season tickets to the Padres. I'm not interested. And he keeps going. And of course, that's his job. I get it. He has a script, whatever. But he keeps going. And I just said, do you know how hilarious this is to me right now that you're begging and you're shilling to Padres fans to buy tickets? Because, you have Shohei Ohtani on layaway. You have Yamamoto on layaway. It's like Walmart up there apparently, and so now they're begging Padres fans for tickets.
And you have a San Diego number, or is it LA area code? Like, what's the reason?
619 Woodsy.
Till you die, baby. All right, so I'm assuming you went to a game at Dodger Stadium, which is not uncommon for another fan to go to another stadium.
It has been years that since I bought tickets. See.
They're watching everything, man. They're watching everything.
They don't throw away those.
They don't throw away those
those
databases, buddy.
It's insane. So it's probably 3, 4, or 5 years ago that I bought tickets. More than that, it had to have been before the pandemic. Either way, they're contacting me. I used to live in LA. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yes, the Dodgers can't sell out games. Their fans are hilarious. Ken Rosenthal is a punk. Josh Hader's a punk.
Getting them all
I'm
now.
out.
Oh, man, look at that. Rack them up,
I
Paulie.
mean, the Dodgers do finish first in attendance every single year. I mean, they do. Factually, that's true. Now, percentage-wise, I think Petco Park might have been
great job.
more full. But they're drawing from 16 million people in the Los Angeles area.
They absolutely should.
20 million now, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a big city.
It'd be embarrassing if they weren't the most well-attended team in baseball.
For sure.
But you don't really need to start trying to throw your fishing lines down into San Diego.
Don't you have enough hot leads to cold call in the L.A. area? Like, assuming
you've called all 20 million people.
He tells his boss
in the
that,
Southland,
and the guy's like, buddy, there's no way you ripped through this thing. Trust me, there's no way you got through.
Let's start hitting these 619 numbers now that I've gone through 213,
I left a lot
310, and the 9 other area codes they have up there.
I've been leaving voicemails like crazy. It's a great call. Thank you, Mikey, for that. Not the season ticket refs. The guy's just doing his job, but it is funny that that they're reaching down here for some people to come up to Dodger games. I'm going to pass.
I am excited. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. They did announce the plans for the Peter Seidler Celebration of Life, March 23rd at Petco Park. I love the patch they're going to be wearing. The PS and the heart looked really good, designed by Peter's children, which I think will make it a even more special thing. And I'm excited to see, because they're going to give away 10,000 of those patches to people who attend the Celebration of Life, the first 10,000 fans. I would think that all season long, everyone's going to be putting them on their hats and their jerseys, and we're going to see a ton of those around Petco Park, which will fill my heart.
Mine too.
With a little PS as well.
I'm sure both of my little guys will have it on their backpacks for school. That's where we put all their patches that they get. But no, it's a really cool thing, and I think you made the point yesterday, or somebody did, of it's a good reminder for those guys. Not that that we'd love to see a Disney movie come out of this, right? The heart on their sleeve. We'd love to see it. It's don't count on it, right? Obviously, but it is a good reminder of how to live and how to be. And we were talking earlier about Rob Manfred and his pretty dastardly comments, and how pleased he was that Peter Seidler's Padres didn't make it to the little contest that they have at the end of the year. And that's one thing that I think Padre fans are going to miss the most. The desire to do things differently. And again, we need to give this current administration a chance and see what happens. That being said, you knew where Peter's head was at. Like, what do I got to do? I'm down to do that. And that is just a rare thing in an owner. Plus to be the kind of, this is like the third time we've said the word altruistic on the show today, but to be the kind of altruistic person that he was. I love that, and I can't wait to get my own.
That is going to be some sort of week, which is just like a 5-6 weeks away. It's amazing how fast this is going to go. I was just thinking, we're less than 2 weeks away from the first spring training game. I mean, not just pitchers and catchers reporting this Sunday, but they're playing the Dodgers on the 22nd of February. It's February 9th right now. So in 13 days, they'll be playing a game.
We'll be out there 2 weeks from Sunday.
Yep.
And then just 2 weeks after that, they're on their way to Korea on March 13th. So, as soon as March gets here, they're less than 2 weeks from departing for their first 2 games. So they'll play that 20th and 21st, Wednesday and Thursday in Korea, fly back. Saturday will be the Celebration of Life for Peter Seidler. Sunday will be Fan Fest. Monday and Tuesday, they have exhibition games against the Seattle Mariners at Petco Park. Wednesday is a day off. They'll do their probably day before workout. Opening day is Thursday of that week. That is going to be a whirlwind 8 days for Padres fans coming up. And speaking of spring training, we're going to give away another pair of tickets to the Peoria Sports Complex, our last one this week, and qualify another listener for the grand prize drawing that includes the Southwest Airlines flight, the hotel stay as well for our grand prize winner. We'll get to that coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Couple of baseball notes that we haven't gotten to yet this morning. The Rangers avoided arbitration with Adolis Garcia agreeing to a 2-year contract extension, so they buy out 2 of his arbitration years. I guess that's the rule. If you don't beat the deadline for the arbitration numbers, if you want to sign someone, you have to do a 2-year deal. So they won't go to that arbitration process that Josh Hader was not a big fan of with the Milwaukee Brewers. And the other note just this morning, Corey Kluber, 2-time AL Cy Young Award winner and one-time draft pick of the San Diego Padres, announced his retirement following a 13-year career on social media today. Had a couple of spectacular seasons in 2014 and 2017 with the Cleveland then Indians, winning his pair of Cy Young Awards. Finishes with a 116-77 record and a 3.44 career ERA in 271 games.
Kluber, man, really, when he was locked in, really fun guy to watch pitch. Wasn't the most overpowering guy. Could move it, spot it. Really, really fun dude. Had the no-hitter a couple years ago, which was insane.
A guy who Ruben Niebla had a lot to do with his development as a starter, and someone who Michael King, new Padres pitcher, kind of has looked up to emulate as a role model, and the reason why he's so excited about working with Ruben Niebla here with the Padres.
Traded for Ryan Ludwig, yes?
I believe that was the Corey Kluber trade, right?
How did that work out?
Not great, Bob.
We didn't win that trade?
Did not win that trade. That was one of the, goes in the L column.
Ryan, it was a three-way
deal.
Yeah. Cleveland got prospect Corey Kluber with the Jake Westbrook to the Cardinals and Ryan Ludwig going to the San Diego Padres.
It's tough, man. Tough scene, that trade.
You're still hot about the Padres trade with the Dodgers.
The River
you're
Ryan.
You're not going to get over that one, right?
I'm going to just be at spring training. I'm going to be
And who did the Padres
Matt
get for
Beatty!
that one? Matt Beatty's not even Matt Batten.
Not even Matt Batten.
Matt Beatty.
Matt Beatty is maybe the worst baseball player I've ever seen in my life. Maybe. He did nothing here. Nothing. I didn't like the look of him. Didn't like the cut of his jib. I think he was stealing signs and playbooks and inside information, feeding it back to Chavez Ravine. And River Ryan is like, "Oh, look at this kid. He's going to be a top 100 player."
He wasn't a fairly highly regarded prospect at the time of the trade, but he has played his way into becoming a higher prospect now with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Matt Beatty.
That was an A.J. Preller. The Corey Kluber, by the way, that was not an A.J. Preller trade. That was before
many years ago.
A.J. Preller's time back in 2010. So you can't blame A.J. for that one.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to have had Corey Kluber's career rather than Ryan Ludwig, who actively made the Padres worse, it seemed like, that season. They came close. They ended up losing out to the San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
You'll remember the last day of the season, they needed to sweep the Giants in San Francisco to force a tie and a game 163. And they won the first 2 games of that series, but then lost on the final day of the season as the Giants won the division and went on to win the first of their 3 World Series titles of that decade. Padres could have stopped them right then and there. Never would have been a dynasty. Maybe they never win the other 2 if they don't win that first one.
You're absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. Yeah, Matt Beatty is one of the tougher guys that you had to look at in a Padres uniform. I was thinking, though, last night when I tweeted that, I'm like, God, we traded this guy for a less than mediocre spy. I was thinking, though, I'm like, where are the now? I know that we need help, and we need help in the outfield and whatnot. But even that's out of the realm of possibility. Where are the David Dahls of the season, though, Ben? David Dahl, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the game of baseball, walked up to us at spring training. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm David Dahl. I'm new here. We're like, hey, we're Ben and Woods. Nice to see you, buddy. Cheering for you. And yeah, I think now is when you probably want to start looking for one of those David Dahl types that's floating around out there. But, there was another move I tweeted about yesterday, Benny, a little proof of life. They added a guy. Let me find it real quick so that I don't make a bigger ass out of myself. Here we go. San Diego Padres have signed Mitchell Miller to a minor league contract. Pitcher has an 8-4 record along with 80 strikeouts throughout his minor league career. Left-hander.
Name-wise, I feel like that could be a successful pitcher.
Mitch Miller.
Mitch
Miller. Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds tough. Also, looks like all the baseball writers are at Dodgers camp this morning for their first day of workouts. Did come out. I think the numbers on Clayton Kershaw's deal.
What was it?
Were revealed. $12 million if he meets certain incentives and comes back. Now, Clayton said, I'm thinking maybe July, maybe August. I don't know that would give you a tremendous amount of confidence when there's kind of a hesitant answer that he's hoping to get back sometime after the All-Star break. There's not a lot of season left once you get to August.
I mean, maybe that's a good thing for Clayton Kershaw. You saw how he performed in a short season before.
The postseason will still feel like May to him.
100%. So May Kershaw's pretty damn good. So I mean, you take that all the time. But guys, it's $12 million. It's a drop in the bucket for them. So they can afford to do that and play the waiting game with Clayton Kershaw until he's ready to go. And as much as I don't like the Dodgers, I think that's the right move for them. And he needs to finish his career in that uniform.
Dodgers on the field this morning. Padres will join them on Monday morning for their first workout, and we'll have Sammy spring training on with us. Sam Levitt will be with us from Peoria, Arizona, all spring long. So for the first couple of weeks, he'll join us every day. Then we'll be out there for 3 shows at the end of February. And I'm not sure. Do we know when Gwen and Chris are they heading out as well?
I don't believe they are.
They're not. It's just because of the short spring training.
Yeah, I think we're the only.
Sammy's going to be there, and we're going to go there for our 3 days, get as many interviews in as possible, and then come back. And by that point, it's almost time for the season to start. Very fast.
Can't wait, man.
All right, if you want to join us out in spring training, give away a couple of tickets courtesy of the Peoria Sports Complex right now. Call 833-288-0973. Let's make it how many lines do we have? 6? 6 caller today wins the 2-pack of tickets to a game in Peoria and entered into the grand prize drawing, which is the 2 tickets, a Southwest Airlines gift card, and a one-night hotel stay, all made possible by the Peoria Sports Complex. Visit PeoriaBaseball.com if you want to make plans to join us out at spring training here over the next month or so.
Can't wait, buddy.
All right, I'm back. Our Tier 1 tour, day 3. We are still in the NL East. The New York Mets are our next team we're going to look at as we count down toward opening day. Casey Stern, our regular Mets correspondent, host of the Unfiltered podcast, going to join us to talk a little Mets baseball coming up next year with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Congratulations to Juan, who won the spring training tickets. And Juan also wanted to let me know he is the softball coach at Hilltop High School.
That's
right. Good luck to the Hilltoppers this season. They have tryouts tomorrow. So, Tier 1s, if you want to try out for the Hilltop softball team.
No.
Show up? No?
It's not a Tier 1 tryout. We've already done that.
It's not an open tryout.
Correct. Good luck, Juan.
Just for Hilltop high schoolers.
I would imagine.
Oh, well, good luck anyway. Then.
Yeah, good luck anyway.
All right, we got Casey Stern standing by. We will continue. Fire up the tour bus, continue our Tier 1 tour.
I just talked to Casey. He seems as upset as we are with the lack of hot stove this offseason.
Okay.
It's been bad.
Good.
The Mets and the Padres were the offseason stories last year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not so much this go around.
Not so
We'll
much
talk
at
to
all.
Casey Stern right after this check at traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
97.3 The Fan Traffic Center. Here's Kelly Danick.
Seeing some improvement on our roads. Crash is cleared on eastbound 52 near Convoy. We still have this accident on the College Avenue on-ramp to eastbound 8. Also northbound 125 at the 8 collision over to the right shoulder. And northbound 805 before University. Stalled trash truck in the slow lane. Parts of the county are still getting hit with some showers, so just take that into consideration. Be extra careful out there. Have those headlights on so you're more visible to other drivers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Fire it up.
Yes.
Out of gas?
We're waiting.
Are we out of gas?
No, we're not.
Well,
It's right here.
we're waiting.
There it is. There it is. Got a little nervous.
Like Chevy Chase and his family on our road trip across the country.
That's right.
Pile into the bus.
The family truckster.
We are heading to the Big Apple today. The New York Mets, our next team, and our Tier 1 tour as we count down to opening day. One team, each show, all the way until the Padres opener against the Dodgers in Korea. And joining us, one of our absolute favorites from the Unfiltered podcast, always great Mets Talk with Casey Stern with us right now on 97.3 The Fan. Casey, good morning.
What's up, gentlemen? Good morning. How are we?
Doing great, man. It's one of those weird off seasons for a couple of teams where your biggest move that gets your fan base the most excited is when you hire an executive. And I think that like,
but there's an assumption then the executive that you just hired is going to
do
something.
Right. Well, and you know, the New York Mets, I think, you know, we'll see how David Stearns does with the Mets, but he got everyone really excited a few months ago. And then they've had, I would call it, I've been watching a little bit, Case, and saying, oh, they signed him. Oh, they got him too. That's weird. That seems like a weird move. It's been a weird offseason for him in his first go around.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, and these two things, guys, are in a parallel line. I'm trying to explain this to Met fans. They're doing a thing that should kick everybody off because you're in New York, because you're supposed to win, because Steve Cohen came there and told you about championships. But at the same time, they're doing the right thing. I think David Stearns, when he came in there, clearly said to that ownership, hey, look, understand this. If you think I'm the right guy and I want to be here, I'm coming to do what's right for the franchise, and we're nowhere near close. Because at the end of the day, if you're a Padre fan, you got to be better than the Dodgers. If you're a Met fan, you got to be better than the Braves. And right now, the difference between the Braves and the Mets, I mean, you're talking about, more than the miles that separate the two cities. I mean, that's how much different those rosters look, top to bottom, not only big league level guys, but in the system, the way the contracts are situated, all of that. So I think, David Stearns came in and basically said, hey, look, we're going to slow play this, and we're going to make moves where guys like Manaea that maybe we could deal at the deadline. We're not going to spend a lot of money, and we're going to kind of hang tight a little bit and see what our kids can do. And that's not a New York thing to do. And we just saw the antithesis of that over the last 3-4 years. So I get why Met fans are ticked off. I understand why people are sitting there and they're kind of looking at the Mets and saying, but they're an roster. And I think at least they're being honest about that rather than spending money that's not going to get you to a postseason anyway.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I'm looking at some of the deals. They got Bader on a 1-year deal, Severino 1-year deal, Jorge Lopez 1-year deal, Joey Wendell 1-year deal, Austin Adams I think was just released. But yeah, they've made some interesting moves. Now again, we're different markets, we're different teams entirely, Case. But like, I'm looking at a couple of those moves, going, well, I mean, there's a couple guys the Padres could use in there certainly. So it has been slow here as well.
You're hoping that when you're in a situation like the Mets and Padres are in, where you went for it and it didn't work out, and you got to back up the truck, not to put all the money in, but away from that postseason, that at least you're kind of making a fair and honest assessment of what the roster is. And fans don't like that because they're not happy either way. They don't want to spend bad money, but at the same time, Verlander and Scherzer were about to celebrate their 55th birthdays with this team, and that wasn't going to get them anywhere anyway if they didn't do it in one season. So for me, this is kind of the right thing. And all the guys you mentioned, I throw Manaea in there too. These are all guys that they can deal. If they perform well in the first half of the season, then you try and kind of net gain and build more off of that. But this is probably a seller at the deadline. It's probably around a 500 team. You got a new manager who's never managed at the big league level, despite the fact that Mendoza is highly touted as a great baseball man and somebody who's accredited in terms of his time that he's put and the dues that he's paid. And they're just not ready yet. The biggest question that needs to be answered is what's going to happen with Pete Alonso, because that is a long-term question that is still right now saddling headline front and center for this franchise.
Casey, here in San Diego, the Padres obviously have been lowering their payroll from the record number that it was last year. Some might say slashing, others might call it a retrenchment to more responsible figures. But we've had to kind of read between the lines. There's never been any official announcement as to what the target is or what the actual plan is. Do the Mets, does David Stearns, I know that they cleared some salary with some of the deadline deals, but do you know what their idea is? Are they going to try to get down luxury tax? Is it even possible for the Mets to do something like that, considering how much they committed and how much they have spent in recent years?
Yeah, considering what they've done, it's not possible to get where you need to go, but you can, not create more unforced errors that then put you in an even deeper hole. So, they're still trying to climb out, but at the same time, they don't have the ability to go from, where they were to getting back to even. But what they've done is they've not spent a lot of money. They took one shot. There was one big fish in Yamamoto that they went after. They gave at the time the highest offer. It pretty much was matched. I mean, nobody could be upset if you're in New York. Steve Cohen went out, offered $300+ million and tried to get the player because they know they can't really contend this year, but that was a much more long-term, as we saw the length of the deal with the Dodgers, kind of a scenario for the Mets, and it gave them a chance. That was their one opportunity to kind of, hey, look, if we're going to put ourselves more in this tax, we're going to accrue more dollars that we really don't want to, let's do it for a player who's going to be part of the solution when we're at that level. But there just aren't those other guys out there. Is a Jordan Montgomery going to make the Mets a division winner? Is a Blake Snell even going to make the Mets a team that can contend with the Braves? They're just not. So that's pretty much why they're going with what they have. And I think the biggest issue is they're not the Milwaukee Brewers where David Stearns was. They're the New York Mets. These are things you do in Milwaukee. They're not things you normally can get away with doing in New York.
That's what I wanted to ask you about next. Talking to our pal Casey Stern here about the New York Mets in 2024. Projected to win, I've seen 81 to 83.5 games, which, by the way, I'll say it, if nobody else will. I mean, we're a couple of fan bases here that really were left with egg on our face last year. We beat our chest like crazy before the season started. We had an owner that was willing to spend and wanted to win a World Series. He's no longer with us. It's been devastating to the organization, the city, everybody. You guys have an owner that said, I have more money I know what to do with, and I will spend it. Do you get the sense, he hired David Stearns for a reason, right? Do you get the sense, though, that it's going to end up being a Steinbrenner type situation where Cohen's like, all right, kid, you're pinching pennies right now and they're on me about this and I've got the money to spend. Do you think that eventually there will be some friction between those two in the way they're doing business?
I don't think so, because we've got to remember how Steve Cohen made his money, and that's with understanding how to manage money, right? So even though he's got a lot of money, he's made money in his everyday life to get to this point, understanding when it's right to pounce and when it's not. And to be fair, even though things didn't work out, they were pouncing on a team that won 101 games, right? Third time they won over 100 in the franchise's history. That seems like a time to pounce. I think he understands now is not that time. The problem that he has is because everybody is so aware of his financials and of the money he has, it's always going to be, well, nobody cares about your taxes. You've got oodles of money. Go out and spend and go buy another team and do it again. That's not the right way. And to me, he and Steinbrenner are different mostly in it. Look, I grew up in New York watching, and people think this is like, some joke, but he put in articles in the New York Post, the owner basically saying, I'm sorry to the fan base that everybody sucks. I mean, that's what I grew up with watching with George with the Yankees. Cohen's much more mild-mannered. Despite having all of that money, he's not a guy who is diving in for the sake of diving in. They backed off things like Correa. They went at the deadline the opposite direction because they had to, even though it hurt them to do so financially and publicly last year. And I think because of that, he will be measured along with Stearns, despite, as you say, and you're correct, that New York fan base, that media are going to be all over this team for being what I think is probably around correct, probably at best about a 500 team here in 2024.
Given their newfound responsibility in David Stearns, does Pete Alonso have a future with the Mets? Should he have a future with the Mets? And what do fans think about Pete Alonso? Is he like a we got to keep him guy, or is he like it's nice that we've had him and we enjoy the power and we enjoy Pete, but you can't really build a team around Pete Alonso, or can you?
I think the fans are all, for the most part, I'd say 99% in favor of keeping him. And I think the reasons are mostly, even though some Met fans, like any fan base, and even more so in some cases, are a little bit nutty, in most cases for the right reason. And that is the question you have to pose on the other side, which is, who are we without him, right? So we don't keep him. Where is the money going? How are we going to replace that power? We already don't have enough power. I think they should look at guys like J.D. Martinez and Soler and others because they don't have enough in the lineup as it is. How are we going to look if he's not there? Do I think Pete Alonso is the best first baseman in the league? I don't. Could you argue maybe he shouldn't get the money that a Matt Olson got or a Freddie Freeman got? You certainly could argue maybe he's not as good as those players. Fair argument. But for what the Mets need and the money we just stated Cohen has and what he already is, the devil you know better than the devil you don't. I think the Mets should try and lock him up. If this goes out to free agency, he will be a guy who goes out in next year's market and get paid more elsewhere, and I think price himself out of the Mets. To me, their opportunity is going to be up until the deadline, and that, guys, quickly is where things get interesting. Very difficult for teams to trade the face of a franchise at any point, and if they get to the deadline and they don't think they can lock him up, waiting till free agency versus getting nothing for him, that's a price that you pay. And sometimes go look at the Angels with Ohtani, not comparing the two players, but looking at assets. If you don't get that guy off the market and go get what you can when the getting's good and he leaves anyway and you get nothing, that's a lot of egg on the face for a franchise, and it will be if they lose Alonso entirely without trading him.
Obviously, losing Edwin Diaz during the World Baseball Classic, it was like the nightmare for every team, the World Base, like especially the way it happened. How is he coming along? Should he be full go for this season?
Yeah, he's ready and full go, and I think, to me, the question with him is going to be how confident is he? Is the body, they say he's healthy enough, and we know how these things could go. Obviously, it could go the other way, and you hope that doesn't happen. But assuming he's healthy enough, is he going to be confident? Is he going to be confident with where his body is? Because to me, the biggest thing that people don't remember about Diaz, he was freaking brilliant in Seattle, right? Had unbelievable numbers, and then lost his confidence. When he got to New York, it was really, really difficult for him. Once he found it, he was unhittable. I think having a good start for him, feeling good about himself, going to be important and going to tell you a lot about what kind of season he has. If he gets off to a rough start, I think still the contract will be okay, but this may be a year where he spends a part of it kind of finding himself and regaining that confidence that he had when we saw him with the trumpets before that injury.
Casey Stearns joins us on Ben and Woods. Last one for me. I'm looking at payrolls for this year, and there's a lot of tax money that Cohen's got to spend, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, it's similar. We look like similar franchises. It's going to be a top-heavy lineup. You've got superstars like Lindor, and in our case, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis. You've got Starling Marte makes a lot of money. Pete Alonso makes a lot of money. It's just a very similar dynamic between our two teams, Casey. So I wanted to ask you, though, the young players that you guys have, and we've seen a couple of them come up, make their debuts. How close are some of those guys that they have in their system ready to make an impact? And could you foresee something at the deadline where the Mets are like, everybody's available? Everybody is available. And I mean Francisco Lindor, Marte, Nimmo, everybody's Diaz, they're all out there.
I think if Marte performed well, that's possible. I don't think Nimmo, he's a build-around guy for them, and I don't think by any chance that Lindor will be. They're not going to rebuild. They're looking at this as a retooling. And, I think part of the reason is they have a lot of confidence in. They've got a number of guys who are top 100 prospects. Jet Williams is very close. Acuna, Ronald's brother, obviously, is close. Gilbert is close. And then there's Alvarez, who, look, if you look at the year that he had, being bounced around a lineup in different parts of the order, kind of figuring out how to play behind the plate, put up pretty good numbers for a young kid in his season. And I think those power numbers will continue. He clearly is a guy who could end up hitting 35, 40 at times during his career in terms of power numbers. So I like their young talent. The problem I have, guys, not enough young pitching talent. And that's where a lot of the age was. And if you want to go ahead and you want to move that needle and you want to outkick your coverage, you look at how Tampa Bay's done it for so many years. Think about the Dodgers with all their injuries last year. Think about what the Braves have done. Having young pitching and young pitching that can then come up. And the Padres, we've seen it too, right? And be who are those next guys? How did the Brewers with Stearns do it? Well, they did it with Corbin Burns, and they did it with Woodruff, right? I mean, Yelich, since the MVP season, has had issues. They had other problems in their lineup, couldn't score at times, but they pitched and found guys at the back end of the bullpen. How the young pitching develops is going to be something really to watch closely to see if the Mets can get better than we think they're going to be here over the next year or two.
Casey, really appreciate your insight as always. Thanks for joining us on our Tier 1 tour talking New York Mets.
Anytime, boys. Hearing Tier 1 in the Mets doesn't sound good or right in the same
That's fair. Yeah,
year,
that's true.
The tier mediocrity buzz.
It's actually more of a reference to our fans as opposed to the team quality that we're talking about, but that's okay. I see what you mean. Casey Stern, Unfiltered Podcast. And you brought up the point, which is really interesting. It's crazy how similar the Mets and the Padres really are. And if you go back, I was just looking at it, like to 2017, so the last 9 years, 2017 losing season, 2018 losing season, 2019 they actually had a winning season but didn't make the playoffs. 2020 the Padres had the good pandemic short season. The Mets didn't. They didn't make that postseason. 2021 though was a disappointment. 2022 the Mets had the better regular season, but of course we know what happened. Came down to one game in the playoffs. Joe Musgrove, shutting them down there in Game 3, but they were essentially right there, the same team up until the last day. And then 2023, the giant payrolls and complete disappointment of 2023. The Mets and the Padres have been on a very similar parallel arc over the last almost better part of a decade now.
It's wild to think about, certainly, but no, I saw a lot of Mets fans last year, and the guys they went out and got, just like the guys we went out and got, and you just felt really good going into the season. And that lasted all of about 90 days, and then you started to panic a little bit.
That Edwin Diaz, who was so good in 2022.
WBC injury, you felt the air just out of the whole tire.
The moment when they were all so excited at Citi Field to eventually bring him in and hopefully lock down the series, and Joe had his great game, and Padres were up 7-0, and they brought him in, and they still played the song, and everything, and we could we could just enjoy it. You know what? This doesn't make me nervous at all because they are down by so many in this game.
Moreno makes a good point. He goes, well, not that similar moving forward. Mets have crazy money. Allegedly, we are broke. So yeah, I mean, it's different levels certainly with Steve Cohen.
But going down actually by similar amounts in terms of payroll. If you include the moves they made at the trade deadline last year, there is a very similar retrenchment of that payroll as well.
Yeah, what did Casey call it? Like we call it the transition year? Yeah, that's what
they're
both
on a transition year as well. All right, we'll come back. Paulie's got some headlines in the Reindl Report. We will still have our Super Bowl picks to give away in our final hour as well. Don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods wrapping up on a Friday on 97.3 The Fan. Sarah Ben and Woods brought to you by The Farmer's Dog. We're in until 10 o'clock. Then it's Annie and Elston, followed by Gwen and Chris. And we'll see how Scraby feels the day after his Thai 10 challenge on the air yesterday, where he ate the spiciest Thai food possible.
Ugh.
Survived. Adam Klug ate it, survived. Tony Gwynn had one bite and broke out in sweat.
I'm guessing that was not a fun trip to
What did they order? Did they get
Pad Thai.
It's just Pad Thai.
Yeah. Did they talk about the fact that Scraby blasted Chris Ello's phone number on the internet? Is that
he had the receipt?
Somebody
from
did
Chris's order at the Thai place.
I did your address, or you did mine.
I did
Early,
yours,
you
I think,
posted
yeah.
my home address on the internet early in our career, but phone number's a little different, I think.
What's your social security number,
Is,
Woods? Is that on the air or off the air information?
6969. 696969.
Nice.
The Padres just had a notification, and I clicked on it, and my heart leapt. Because I was like, and it was a picture, the picture of a player. And I was like, oh, but it was the official announcement of Wandy Peralta, 4-year contract through.
Oh, that's right. That hadn't
been official. It is now official. But my heart just jumped. At a glance, I looked over. I go, it looks like Juan Soto. Padres have traded for Juan Soto. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Wandy yesterday retweeted something from January about it. And
about
I'm going,
the plane.
You're a little late to the party here. Didn't you sign with the Padres like 2 weeks ago? And I guess it wasn't official until today.
You got to wait.
Yesterday.
Wait until it's official to do it.
No, he was just staying under the radar until.
I swear, my heart is racing right now. I clicked. I go, oh, we got somebody. No, we did, but we already kind of knew he was coming. So. Sorry about that.
Anticlimactic.
This is very anti.
Yes.
Very.
There's the official press release.
There it is.
The San Diego
Very
Padres.
anticlimactic, but yeah, all right.
All right. Well, while we peruse the press release, it's never an anticlimactic moment when Paulie gives us some headlines.
Necessarily true.
It is the. I was trying to build you up. It's the Reindl Report.
Finally,
and get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Paulie.
Home stretch. We're going to start off in Major League Baseball. I was reading yesterday in The Athletic, Evan Drellick had a story out about possible streaming updates for Major League Baseball, and that Commissioner Rob Manfred is looking at 2025 to be the target for an in-market streaming option for fans of at least half the league is kind of where he's targeting.
Half.
Well, because the other half have long-term deals already that include the digital rights. So there are teams like the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and of course the Padres that don't really have any rights whatsoever right now. So he said at least, I think it said 14 to 16 teams have to be involved on board for this to even be an option.
Obviously, the Padres would be one of them.
Yep. Those 3 teams I mentioned, they're in.
They're already on board.
There are other teams that have over-the-air rights that are already sold, but their digital rights are not part of that, so they could be involved in this. And basically what it is MLB TV is already available, and if you live in Chicago and you're a Padres fan and you want to watch a Padres-Dodgers game at Petco Park, you can do that.
No problem.
But if you live in San Diego, the problem is the blackouts. You have not been able to. So
isn't that crazy, though? That in some ways, if you were a fan of a baseball team, a Major League Baseball team,
move.
You are better off living in a city where that team does not play.
If you love the Padres so much, you will move out of San Diego. That's what we're asking you to do in the big leagues.
Because then you can get games without a problem with an MLB TV subscription.
No problem.
You can watch every Padres game.
$20 a month or whatever, no problem.
If you live far enough away,
just move.
You can be a much better Padres fan.
That's exactly right.
So I'm reading from The Athletic.
It's incredible. What a great system baseball is. This is brilliant. This is
we want to make it as difficult as possible to consume our product.
This is the sport I've devoted my heart and life and soul to. This is the sport. If you love a team, move out of the city in which you live, and you'll have a better fan experience.
Now, this is all still in the very early stages. It's not known whether this would be something with like Apple TV or Peacock, who have been streaming MLB games recently, or Amazon.
I'll take all the Apple TV I can get.
Yeah, I agree
100%. It's the most elite product I've ever seen on a baseball field.
Maybe
I've never
MLB
seen anything like it.
does their own thing entirely, and that's certainly possible. But he did say, Rob Manfred said, never mind want or could. I think you need to be in the 14 and growing team mode to at least get this rolling.
The Dodgers would fight back against us like crazy, right? I mean, they're getting...
Well, they wouldn't be...
No, but he said...
Part of it.
You want to... Everyone wants... We should all be going to this model eventually. Dodgers are like, absolutely not.
Right.
No.
Their model works well for them.
Very well.
Diamondbacks, Padres, and Rockies. MLB is broadcasting their games this year, so they're in. Then there were the Guardians, the Rangers, and the Twins. They're not under contract in 2025, so they're in the last year of their deal with their providers. So that could make it 6 teams.
Okay.
And then Evans says it gets a little tricky after that. There are 4 teams that are under contract with Diamond Sports, but not the digital rights. So that's the Angels, the Braves, the Cardinals, and the Reds. So it's like their television rights would be for Diamond Sports, and their digital rights could be with Apple TV.
You probably still have to overcome like the local blackout stuff, though, on those deals. But that could get you to 10. And then there's the bankruptcy hearing and how that's going to play out for the teams that do have the digital rights sold, but if they get out from them on...
the Tigers, Royals, Marlins, Brewers, and Rays are all in that category.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the that new ESPN, Fox, Turner... Maybe that app gets involved. That's going to be here later in the year, and that's where they put baseball games on in the future.
It's all still very early, but I would at least say... better late than never.
It's all coming from Rod Manfred, so take it all with a grain of salt. I mean, he thought that the A's to the Las Vegas market was a good idea, and that's going really well so far for him.
He likes when rich teams spend money and poor teams don't. So, yeah, he's really solid.
A little event that they hold at the end of October for a hunk of metal.
Hey, bud, why do you hate the World Series so much? Like, of all the things, you're the commissioner of baseball, that's the one thing he's really keyed in. He's like, I hate this tournament. I hate this series so much. I can't stand it. I just can't stand. Imagine Goodell being like, this little game we play at the end of the year. No, they do it as big as they can.
Is that the old false modesty bit? Yeah, it's just a little. It's a little game we're having in Las Vegas on Sunday. It's no big deal.
Culmination of 162
watch it,
games.
Don't watch it.
We don't care. Yeah, exactly. He's so good, so good.
All right, we'll move over to football. I saw this story here. So I don't know that we ever actually talked about it on the show, but a couple of weeks ago, Kristen Juszczyk is the wife of 49ers player Kyle Juszczyk, and she...
Saying that right? Is it Juszczyk?
Juszczyk, something like that.
Anyways.
It starts with a J, so it's tricky to begin with.
Juszczyk.
She's got a little bit of a side gig where she likes to design clothing, and she became wildly popular a few weeks back when she designed custom Chiefs jackets for Brittany Mahomes, wife of Patrick Mahomes, and then I don't know if you guys have heard of Taylor Swift.
I've heard of her.
So she also wore this, and I guess she's very popular, and so this went crazy viral, and she actually signed a deal, the wife, Kristen did, with the NFL. She's partnering with them for a clothing line, and she just released her first item that's officially NFL licensed, and I'm going to show it on our YouTube stream if you're watching. If you're not, I don't know where you're at, but
find it on Google, perhaps.
Yeah, you can find it. It's a cool vest, Super Bowl 58, and it's got 49ers versus Chiefs, the logo and all that. It looks very, very cool. And I liked that I read here from Front Office Sports, all the proceeds for this line particular
that is a cool vest.
Are going to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
That's
all
a
of
really...
her proceeds.
She's very talented.
She's very talented.
Now, she did say, because she's not making anything for Taylor this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because she's cheering for the wrong team.
Yeah, because...
Her husband's on the 49ers. And
yeah,
the Chiefs are not. They're the enemy this week.
Normally, you've seen it over the years, like a bedazzled type shirt, and you're like, oh, cool, you made these. We're all going to wear these. But that actually that looks really good.
It is amazing. So she just kind of sent one to Taylor to wear.
Yeah.
I can show everybody that.
Paulie, have you sent Taylor a Ben and Woods shirt just to see if she will wear it during one of her concerts or something?
In due time, Ben. In due time. Yeah,
got this shirt. It's amazing.
There's the picture of Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes in these big jackets that have the jersey
like winter
numbers.
fleece jackets.
But it's like a jersey.
Yeah.
That looks
but a
great.
parka.
Really
It's
cool.
like a jersey parka.
Yeah, because it was very cold in Kansas
A
City.
jarka, if you will.
All right.
Or a Percy.
And then finally, Benny sent this over, and we're going to talk a little Domino's Pizza. They've got a new treat coming out for, I guess, for Valentine's Day.
Is it here or is it just in England? I don't know.
That I don't know.
It was Domino's UK that was tweeting it out, but I was very intrigued.
Well, it says for Valentine's Day, it's going to be in stores starting on February 12th, and it is, they have the baked treats that you can order from Pizza Hut or Domino's. It's kind of like
They always try to
it's
get you
doughy,
add them onto the order at the end.
doughy,
Get
chocolatey.
me every time. The cinnamon thing, you dip in the
Yeah.
frosting.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've already
Cinnamon
got the ovens
sticks.
fired up. Might as well fire up some breadsticks and some hot cookies that you can go with your pizza order.
So they
Every
are
time.
making these little sugary dough balls, and they're filled with a Cadbury egg.
That is so repulsive. I can't
really?
even. Yes.
You don't like this idea? It's like a chocolate chip cookie
Domino's
outside, but a
cream
Cadbury
egg
cream
cookie.
egg in the middle. I think I would like that. I do.
It's dough, and then inside is a whole
With some
egg,
chocolate,
or is it just
no? It's the chocolate egg layer. So it's like it looks like
absolutely
a cookie dough.
hideous?
It looks like a Cadbury egg wrapped in baked cookie dough.
It looks like something else to me.
Now, not everyone was a fan. They were more like you. This tweet from at Jim Bethel,
So gross.
who said, "I hope the executive team are ashamed. It's not illegal, but it's harmful. It'll weigh heavily on their future career prospects, and it's disgusting. They should know better and use their many talents to find less egregious ways to hit their targets." That's about a cookie stuffed with a Cadbury cream egg.
It's a bit of an overreaction, I think. But the Cadbury egg is such the give up. It's such the give up if it's in my house and I'm like, I have two options. I can eat a spoonful of sugar or I can eat a Cadbury egg and I need to satisfy my sweet tooth. I might eat a Cadbury egg.
All
But
right,
they are just repulsive.
You know the new
to me.
trend where you can get like just the Lucky Charms marshmallows
Yeah.
and not the Lucky
You want
Charms?
just the cream?
I just want the cream in the
Save
middle
it.
of the Cadbury egg.
Save him saying, I just want the cream.
Oh my god!
Save it. Save
Oh,
it.
I
Save
will
it.
save
Save
that.
it. Save it.
It's got the
save
little yellow yolk and the white, but it's all just gooey sugar, and it's really good.
It is
good.
so repulsive, that filling.
I mean, Easter is coming up soon.
It is.
They will be they're probably on the shelves now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little early, but I always have to have at least one every Easter. My treat.
That's your little treat to
Oh,
yourself?
yeah.
You really like the
Disgusting.
Cadbury
I do,
egg?
I do.
Why?
The cream filling. It's the best. It's just a pure sugar rush.
I don't like it. I don't like the consistency of it. And I don't
Running
really.
down your chin.
Yeah. Got
Spill
a
some on
little.
your shirt.
You bite into something and something explodes. Pass. Just hard pass. Do you eat it whole? Could you?
So I'll you can
How
kind
do
of
you eat one?
So you can kind of tell there's a thicker chocolate side and a thinner side.
The tops are thinner than
usually.
the middle.
So try to take a little small bite off the top, where
like-
the thin side comes to keep the base intact.
And then do you
then
shoot
you
the
can
cream?
kind of pour the cream down your throat.
Oh my god!
And then do you eat the hollow shell?
At the end,
At the
you can
end.
finish the chocolate or toss the chocolate. I honestly, I don't care that much about the chocolate. I just like the cream.
I really do not like those.
You're right. He has been
He's
horned
been on.
up
He's a horn
for the
dog,
last
dude.
like
I'm
week and a
telling-
half.
I'm talking about
Hannah said it this
candy,
morning as I was
sugar.
leaving. She goes, Ben sure has been horned
You
up
just have
lately."
dirty minds,
I
and you
said,
turn
You're
all
the
of
one
mine.
that is
I
quoted in the
said-
last 30 seconds as saying, "I just want the cream,"
I just want
and
it
you want to pour the cream down your throat.
I know. They are now that just you know what? If you're Domino's, just make me a cookie. Just send me some cookies. You don't have to, everything doesn't have to be.
Has anyone tried those new Subway footlong cookies that Charles Barkley keeps trying to sell us on?
I've not seen that.
I haven't seen that either.
Now that I would try.
Yeah, they have new footlong cookies you can get at
This
Subway.
is why other countries just hate us. They just hate us because it just doesn't make any sense, man.
Unless they,
Jeff says we did this. I didn't do this. This was always in him. He said, if I don't take you to explicit.
I'm not being dirty. I genuinely enjoy the cream filling. What else do you want me to call it? It's a cream filling in the Cadbury egg. And it's good.
All right, let's go to break.
Reindl Report.
Thank you, Paulie.
Complete.
Woods and Paul have dirty minds. Oh,
Yeah.
like
All right.
you
Give me a
weren't
break.
thinking it.
Give me a break.
Tonight.
He said it, not us.
Tonight in Reno. Must-win game.
Another one.
Yes, I'll explain. There's a twist, because you know me. I like to bait and switch you a little bit.
That's true. You do.
So I'll do that again.
You bait and switch. You baited and switched everyone in this town for 20 years until this show came around. Okay? That's exactly what you did. Deviant.
Let's check traffic. We'll be back with more Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Did you know you can listen to 97.3 The Fan with your smart speaker? Just ask your device to play 97.3 The Fan to give it a shot. Now, I already said earlier this week, this is not a must-win game for the Aztecs, but I'm not going back on that.
Sounds like you are.
It's a must-win game for Nevada tonight. They are the team.
What a tease.
They are the team that is currently, if you look at Joe Lunardi's bracketology, they are in the first 4 out category of the ranking. So there's 5 Mountain West teams that are currently in the bracket, according to bracketology, ESPN. Nevada is just on the outside. Could be a 6th team from the Mountain West that gets in this year. They need a tier 1 or a quad 1 win pretty badly. And this would be an opportunity because San Diego State is top 20 in the net rankings. You beat San Diego State at home, that counts as a quad 1 win. You only get a couple of home quad 1 opportunities every year because you have to be, I think it's 1 through 30 ranked at home. You can count that as a quad 1 win. You don't have to even win on the road. This would be a defining resume-building game for a team that is very much on the borderline of NCAA tournament selection. So if you're circling one game on your calendar, as most Mountain West teams do, is one you really, really want to win, this is the one for Steve Alford's team tonight in Reno.
Oh, your number one nemesis of all time, Steve Alford.
Now, the Aztecs beat him already at Viejas earlier this season. But last year, on their way...
Was that game close?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Last year, on their way to the national championship game, the Aztecs lost at the Lawler Events Center in Reno. Remember we had the story, they had the bats?
Yes.
I wonder if there's going to be any bats interrupting the game tonight in Reno. They had after the game, Gueca Rope called the players-only meeting and go, guys, if we want to do something special, we got to get our act together, essentially. Didn't have Dutch or the coaches in there. And
that the first time in San Diego history that a players-only meeting
worked.
Actually worked?
Yeah, they went on.
Like in the history of all sports.
They only lost one more game. It was about the same time last year. They only lost one more game the rest of the year until the UConn game, the championship. After
Pretty
that
incredible,
loss
man.
to Nevada and that players-only meeting that followed that loss.
When Guec talks, they listen, man.
They did.
For sure.
That's why they hired him.
-2, Nevada. Favored by 2 at home.
Must-win game for Nevada.
Yep.
But I really do think they're kind of near the bottom of the top group of Mountain West teams. San Diego State's playing well right now. This is a tough one to handicap. I mean, they have not won on the road, but they've been getting better on the road. They did beat Air Force on the road, but that's not a great team. Can they beat one of those top-tier teams in their gym, knowing probably going to be their best crowd of the season, their loudest crowd, the game they want to win the most out of any on their schedule is when San Diego State comes to their gym to defend their home floor. They win it. They probably move into the brackets and all the bracketologies. They lose it. You don't really have that many other opportunities other than the conference tournament going forward. So this is a huge game. Now, big game for San Diego State too, but they're tied for first place right now. The worst you lose, the worst thing is you're a game out of first place with 7 to go. You can still run off a winning streak and win the conference. Nevada, though, needs this one pretty badly tonight against the Aztecs, which makes it an intriguing matchup. It's a 5 o'clock tip on CBS Sports Network tonight.
I got a dinner at 5:30, so you're going to have to text me updates.
Oh, do you really want me to text you updates?
Yeah, I guess I could watch it on my phone.
Is it easier to get text updates than to just have it open on your phone and just look whenever at your convenience, as opposed to buzzing on your phone?
We're going out to dinner with a couple friend of ours. I don't know how stoked my wife's going to be if I have it on at this nice restaurant. With it
but will
on.
she be stoked if you keep?
Well, I can do it
pulling it out to
surreptitiously.
text?
I can look like this and be like, "Oh, up 6. Okay, cool. All right, great."
I'll usually if I'm out and I want to check a game, but I don't feel like I can just watch the game on my phone. I'll keep the page open to just the score, the box score update, and I'll just constantly update. So anytime I look, I can at least just quickly see what the score is and how much time is left in the game.
I like when you just send me updates.
You do. You want me to write you out?
Keeps us engaged.
Like every media timeout?
No,
4 minutes?
Just big scoring updates.
10 minutes in. Aztecs off to a rough start here.
Great.
They're down 6 or something.
Well, you're not working. I make you feel
halftime,
like you're at
they come
work a little
back,
bit. Yes,
tied it up. It's halftime. It's all score.
Yes. That's what I want. You'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, we're I don't think I mean, we're going to do some prep for our Super Bowl party
All right,
that you don't want to come to, but
what's on the menu? Well, it's not your Super Bowl.
well,
I don't want to
Shelley
go to anybody.
she showed me what her preliminary menu was.
What's it look like?
Ribs, pulled pork, mac and cheese, various dips, a couple of salads for the salad people. I don't know.
A couple of salads for the salad people.
Yeah, she's going to do wings. She's going to do them at the Seagull because they do such good wings. So she's got those already set up. Chocolate sheet cake, s'mores bars. Those are really good. It's like chocolate, graham.
I know what a s'more
and
is.
marshmallow top.
I absolutely
kind
know
of a
what
marshmallow
what a
cream
s'more
top.
is. Yes.
And then she torches it to give it that s'mores flavor, like the campfire. Do you not need me to explain?
Do you guys know what
s'mores?
pizza is? It's really cool. There's a crust, then there's a sauce, and then cheese. Some people put different spiced meats on it. Some
I
people
don't
put
think
veggies.
we're doing any pizza. It's not on the plan, not on the menu.
I want to watch this game.
Right. That's what Super Bowl parties are for.
The food sounds really good.
Watch the game
I will
and
say.
eat a variety of foods that are all available to you while you watch the game. Beverages. You're not a beverage guy. I mean,
I like soda.
You drink beverages.
I drink
like,
soda.
like everybody on earth.
That's what I like. On a Super Bowl party, I just want a Sprite.
But in terms of like the traditional
Just beer,
game
right?
beverages,
Just
like
drink
beer.
We got to work on Monday.
Yeah.
We got to work on Monday. I got to be fresh. I
That's
can't
true.
come in all haggard from pound of ribs.
That's
and
why we
potato
talked
salad
about last week. Why don't they just move the game to Saturday?
exactly
Have it
right,
tomorrow,
man.
and no one has to go in to work, or not many people have to go into work on Sunday.
Exactly
Makes
right.
no sense.
So you'll start prepping like tonight.
Well,
for
I'm going to Costco for some of the shopping, I think, this afternoon. And yeah, we got to get the house ready and presentable. We don't keep it in constant guest ready state.
You know what's funny is
We have 2 dogs, 2 kids. It's a mess.
My
usually.
house is
It
constantly
is.
ready for
Can we have
guests.
Hannah come over and teach us, do a seminar on keeping the house guest ready?
We've never had anyone in our home other than our family of 4. Never. My parents come in for 10 minutes, like, all right, we're going to leave. No one's ever spent the night.
Is that what keeps it so nice?
I think so.
Don't let anyone in.
We must be the worst humans alive because we don't have get-togethers. We don't invite people over ever. Somebody comes, they drop stuff out
I've
the door.
known you 6 years. You've never really invited me over.
I don't have any. It's not
I've
just
been
you.
I've been to your house to pick you up.
Yep.
I have come in the front door
for a
maybe
second.
like a minute tops.
You've never seen my bedroom.
Never seen the rest of your house.
Never.
I think when you first moved in, you gave me a quick downstairs tour.
Well, there's only one level.
Well, you gave me a tour of the rooms that were immediately next
Right
to the
in
front
front of
door,
us.
then
Yeah.
perhaps.
We have never had a soul in our home. I'm not kidding. For more than an hour. Like Hannah's business partner will come. They'll work in our office, but we've never had they're coming over to watch a game or hang out with the kids. Never.
And I'm the weird one.
I must be the weirdest, man. Yeah, we got that closed door policy in my house. Somebody said, yeah, very strange. My parents, when they come, they stay at a hotel or a condo, and I have a buddy coming in July, and I think he's going to be in town one night, and then we're going to go to a couple concerts, and I'm like, well, where the hell is he going to stay? Because he's not sleeping at our house.
How uncomfortable would you be? Let's say you and Hannah and the kids were going on a 2-week trip somewhere.
Yeah.
Would you Airbnb your house out to someone else while you were gone?
Yes.
You would.
That doesn't make me uncomfortable. What makes me uncomfortable is having other people there while I'm there. You guys could come hang out. If I'm not there, you can come over anytime. Just clean up your messes. I have no problem with that. I just don't want to see you in my house. That's the weirdest thing about me, I think, is that we have no guests over ever. We would never have a dinner party. Never. We would never have people over for dinner.
So
It's
your Super Bowl
weird.
party for one,
It's one.
yourself,
Yeah.
you'll be in a nice, clean, sanitary environment.
It looks like a hotel. It's so clean. All the time. It looks beautiful. But no guests. The thought of 40 people in my home, Hannah wouldn't recover. I'd have to put her in a sanitarium after it was over. She would never be able to rest again. So it's her and me, though. I'm not blaming her. I don't like it either. It's very
This is, I think, a growth goal for both of you.
Yeah, potentially.
Dinner party at the Woodses.
We'll try it. It's going to be small. Like maybe just you, just one person
Me.
over for dinner. Just one is the max we can do.
I don't think there'd be anything more awkward than being the only person invited over for a dinner party.
Also, you know what I think it is? I also think it's like, does that person, will they know when to leave? It's not them being in our home. We're not germaphobes or anything like that, but will they know, all right, it's time to get the hell out of here. Like, my parents come, I'm telling you, they come for an hour and like, okay, we know you guys have a schedule. We're leaving. And we're like, did we run them out? Or is it just our personalities? It's very strange.
See, Shelley doesn't like guests to leave ever. They pass out and they wake up the next morning. She's fine with that.
Yeah, I can't do that. That would make me nuts.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Finally, after 2 weeks, we are finally going to analyze the game.
Oh, we are? I didn't even know.
And give our picks.
I was just going to give my picks.
In our final segment. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
don't you
I
have
have
any
nothing to
reasoning?
add.
You must have a reasoning for making your
I mean,
selection.
I got the reason for it.
Well, you'll give us your reason for your selection, and we will wrap things up this week coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I want to thank once again Tyler and Kelly for coming in this morning. If you missed the Open today, it is their anniversary, and I got a nice message from Kelly, and she wanted to surprise her husband, Ty, and his birthday's coming up in March, and he had no idea. He loves the Ben and Woods program and loves sports. And she said, could I please bring him in to meet you guys? I said, absolutely. So we did that today. But she had this rube believing that at 5 o'clock in the morning, they were going to go hot air ballooning. And it's still one of my favorite moments. And he was like, all right, sounds good. 40-mile-an-hour winds, pouring rain, cold as hell. And he woke up this morning and goes, hell yeah, I'm about to go hot air ballooning for our anniversary.
You could be touching down in some random field somewhere.
In Temecula right now. Yeah, that's exactly right. Instead, he's been here. They've been here the whole time, and it's been so wonderful to meet you. You guys are awesome people. And
you know they can't steer those things.
It's one of the things that you couldn't get me up with a gun to my head.
They go
There's
up
no
and they
way.
like, judge the winds, and then they have like a van that follows you.
All right,
I
here
think.
we
And
go.
like, okay, we're going to come down somewhere probably a few miles this way. Just be ready for us when we like land wherever we
now,
land.
this show is not as exhilarating, Ty, but it's certainly a lot safer. You're alive. You're going to make it through the day. Happy anniversary. How many years? 5 years to you guys. Happy anniversary. Wish you a lifetime of love and happiness. And it's been great getting to know you guys. I hope you guys have had fun.
Yeah, thank you.
It's our
We
pleasure.
also have a decent view of the 15 freeway out our window.
Yeah,
if
that's
you do-
true.
If that's what you were
and
looking for.
we are high up, but you're not exposed to the elements in here at all, but just Ben's deviancy. Other than that, it's been a great morning, so thank you guys for being here. We've had a lot of fun.
All right, last check of traffic, and then we will get into our Super Bowl picks finally after 2 weeks. Our predictions for the big game next year on 97.3 The Fan. Feels like anytime we have a Super Bowl party or a party, the one thing you always forget is enough ice. So if you forgot the ice and you have to get in the car during the game, I'll let you know. You can listen to the Super Bowl here on 97.3 The Fan. We'll have it live for you also on your device. If you want to play 97.3 The Fan over your smart speaker, listen to the game here from Westwood One on Sunday. Pre-game coverage starts at 11, kickoff at 3:30 here on 97.3 The Fan. So it is available to you if you have to be away from a television at any point. Okay, what's the latest line? It is the 49ers are still favored, correct?
I've got 2, yeah.
2 points.
Is what I got.
They opened at like 2.5. It went down to like 1.5. Now it's settled in. 49ers by 2. I will, you want me to start? All right. I think the 49ers are the better team of these two teams. Pretty much across the board except at the quarterback position, which is kind of up to interpretation about what you really think about Brock Purdy. Is he a good quarterback? Is he just a game manager? Is he a product of the pieces around him? I don't think there's any question that Brock Purdy has way better pieces around him than Patrick Mahomes does. Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce, some receivers who are quite unreliable during the regular season.
I'd say way better.
I mean, you've got Christian McCaffrey, you got Deebo Samuel.
Travis Kelce's elite.
He's elite, but after
Isaiah
that,
Pacheco's good.
He's
really good.
Yeah, but not Christian McCaffrey level good.
No.
Christian McCaffrey scores a touchdown every single game. Yep. Literally, like every single game. Scores a touchdown. Defensively, both teams are quite good. I think that's more of a wash.
Are they 1-2?
Pretty much, I think.
I think that's right, because the Chiefs are
very
2.
good, very good defenses. So my instincts are go with the better team. Go with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since they've played. Is momentum a thing? I don't know. But ultimately, the Chiefs have just played better in the postseason.
They have.
They just, for whatever reason, they have. They played better than the 49ers have in the postseason. That clearly could change after a couple of weeks and, change the situation and move them to Las Vegas and get them ready for a Super Bowl. But I got to go with what my eyes have told me over the month of January, and that is the Chiefs have just been the best team right now. So I think any other pick would be kind of silly. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty close. I'll say 31-28, pulling out the win over the 49ers here in Super Bowl 58.
I mean, we may have a clean sweep here because I'm also going with Patrick Mahomes, the experience that he has, the way that they're playing, the way their defense is nasty. I love the Niners defense. I love the Brock Purdy story. I love George Kittle. He is a freak and so much fun to watch. Christian McCaffrey is such a stud. I'm going to go 31-21 Kansas City Chiefs. Win by 10. I think Purdy's going to throw a costly pick.
I mean, you certainly could be right on that.
That's my prediction.
I'm not going to just sign up with everyone who goes, yeah, they lost, so Brock Purdy obviously wasn't that good of a quarterback.
Me neither.
That's completely unfair.
Garbage. Now
Completely
he's a
unfair.
Yeah.
But Patrick,
Game manager.
the experience of Patrick Mahomes having played in this game already 3 times, and this is his 4th Super Bowl, that's got to be pretty valuable. I mean, with all the hype and the distraction that goes around it, to have that kind of experience going into the game means something in my mind. Paulie?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm reluctant to. I don't really want them to win again, but I think that they have the better team. And for all the reasons that you just said about them playing better, I mean, they have played really well in all of their postseason games. 49ers have trailed in most of their playoff games and squeaked out a victory. I just think the Chiefs are going to be the better team. They're more comfortable on that big stage. That's kind of an X factor that you can't really... It's hard to pin. How is Brock Purdy going to handle the Super Bowl moment?
Big-ass game, my friend. Big game.
I disagree with the notion that the Chiefs are villains. And there's starting to be a growing sentiment. Maybe
everybody hates a team that wins a lot.
Just because they've won a lot. But the coverage of the Chiefs, the obsession with the Chiefs, that's not really their fault. Any team that wins a lot is going to get that kind of coverage. And to be honest, I think their players are mostly pretty likable. I think Andy Reid is
anytime a team wins
is
a lot.
really likable. Andy Reid is like 1,000 times more likable than Bill Belichick. Like 1,000 times. I don't have a problem with Andy Reid going down as one of the best coaches of all time.
Steve Kerr is extremely likable, and everybody was like, oh, God, the Warriors are going to win again? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way it is.
But
I want to have a manager here that everyone hates because he wins so many World Series.
There's nothing more inherently likable about the 49ers, though. The 49ers aren't some incredibly plucky, likable team. They were a 1 seed as well. They're filled with really good players.
They're favored. You know what I mean?
They're
favored in the game. So, I mean, we're doing the underdog pick, I guess.
I mean, if the Lions would have won that game, if it was Detroit versus Kansas City, I think everyone in America outside of Kansas City would be pulling for Detroit.
No question, man. No question. It should be a banger. It really should. I know I picked the Chiefs to win by 10. I think it's probably a late touchdown that does it. I think it's going to be a good game and a close game throughout. I really... This matchup's got me excited.
I don't see either team completely running away with this game. Sometimes you get a couple of bad breaks and the snowball kind of gets away from you, and that can happen to any team in a Super Bowl or any big game. But for the most part, both teams are explosive enough that if they fall behind, they could come back.
Yep.
Both teams have good enough defenses that you could see it being a fairly low-scoring game. I just think eventually it's football. The offenses always have the advantage. They're going to get some points here.
The creativity of Shanahan and Reid, too, just makes it fun. They're
just 2 weeks to prepare.
They're just creative. The wrinkles you're going to see, it's going to be great, man. I think it should be a really good game.
And, when we were growing up, Super Bowls were usually terrible games.
Awful.
That's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Super Bowls have, for the most part, over the last, what would you say, 15, 20 years? Been pretty good games.
Yeah, no doubt.
They've gotten a lot of good matchups and a lot in finishes.
Sometimes
in Super Bowls.
the best game of the year by far. I mean, some of the plays we've seen in the last few years.
And the Chiefs play a ton of good games.
They do.
How many great games can you just remember in the last few years? Chiefs, Mexico City, games against the Bills, games against the Bengals, Super Bowl games. The Chiefs play a lot of entertaining games. So in that sense, I'm glad they're in the Super Bowl because generally you get pretty entertaining matchups when the Chiefs are involved.
Well, the other cool thing too is there'll be somebody that nobody was expecting to do something big. Maybe this is Kadarius Toney's moment to shine after a really awful
Do they
year.
let him on the field?
He finds his way open and finally catches a pass and has a big game. But I'm excited for the game and looking forward to seeing the Chiefs win.
All right, I guess we'd all like to see the Chiefs pull out the victory on Sunday. And speaking of things that we and I like, let's wrap up our week. Things Ben likes.
What in the?
I lost
Hold
it.
on. What just happened?
It was a flub.
We need to
flub.
plug you back,
out again.
unplug you and plug you back in.
Come here. Let me blow into you real quick. Wow.
Did it? I like Nordstrom.
I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like Saki. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paula Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like Science Experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner.
I like going to golf games. I like diving into chores.
I like sugar.
I do like Butterfinger. I like blue and silver are not bad colors. I like the time change. I like Major League Baseball's new rule. I like the radio. I like geography. I like the knuckle method. I like Skippy. And I like pie. And I like Bob Melvin. I really do. I like Jace Tingler, too. I like this day. I like being right. I still do like movie scores. I like good food. I like maps. Right. I like when interviews can turn into organic conversation. I do like a Stouffer's French bread pizza. I like having the wind go through my hair. I think I like shows that the characters have an arc. I like the full lettuce, tomato, onion experience as well. I like those kind of burgers. I like the big overflowing bag of fries. I like those little Smarties rolls. I liked what I saw from Seth Lugo. I liked his competitive fire. Yeah. I like walking around between the different lands. Steve Kerr, though, I like that. I like living on the coast. I like watching Tigers still. I like the idea of that matchup. I liked what I saw in the preseason. I like the
Ran out of time for the likes.
It's gotten so long that we don't even have time to finish them anymore. We got to turn things over. Annie and Elston coming up next. We will be back Monday morning. Sammy spring training, joining us from Peoria, Arizona. For Paul Reindl, our executive producer and imaging director, and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. So long from San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.